jet. Got the loud jumping at the bag. Everything I'm on slack. Everything I do is got the band jumping at the bag. Vibe blowing at my jet. Got the loud jumping at the bag. Everything I'm on slack.
We've been with the Brazilians. This would be the first.
They wild after.
I'm innocent.
Bro, you hear that guy? Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Coach Greg Adams. I can't predict it. Back in here with another YouTube live stream. Shout out to the Coach Gang in here.
And that's you.
For being in here, being involved, and being active on this YouTube channel. And welcome back to the London edition. The London, I got to get the banner up right here. Oh, my goodness. It's loud. And my sound effects are loud, but I heard Brother Colleen told me you can't hear the sound effects. All right, but let me see if I can get the banner up. All right, maybe there's no banner. I suppose there's no banner. I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is right there. All right, welcome to the Wake Up Show. Part of the Free Agent Lifestyle podcast here on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. You in here with the Bruce Wayne of this ish in the James Bond edition of CGA's Bruce Wayne. The King of Kings, the King of Content, and the Speaker of Truth, yours truly, the Notorious One, a.k.a. Mr. Coach Alini, better known as the Prognosticator, Coach Stradamus. And you're in the United Kingdom with none other than EWF. That is every woman's fantasy in the whole fucking show. I'm the CEO, Niggero, of Fixes Bind London, LLC. I am the unbinder, the undebatable, the undisputed best edutainment here on YouTube. You can call me Senor Gregorio Graybeard. The ladies love to call me Mr. Third Leg Greg. You guys know the sound effect right there. I can't find it. I'm also the man with one trabajo. That's the Mitch Slapper. I am the anointed one. Acknowledge me. The founding father of the After Pill, the junior college JUCO, London edition sociologist, the Morpheus of the Mating Matrix, the chocolate of Confucius, the Black Moses, the deliverer, also known as the man that walks in the spirit of Elijah. I'm the man with more nicknames than anyone in the game, but in case you forget those names, just call me CGA, C God Allah NIB, the 14-time demonetized champion of YouTube. Not sure if you can hear the sound effects, but today's mini show today, why a woman discloses, a TikToker admits the shocking truth that I've been trying to tell you about, why some women divorced a good man. All right, why some women feel like they can divorce a good man, which we've been trying to show you about the marriage will that anybody can get that work. Just because you're a good man does not make you immune from the marriage will destruction going through the cycle. Sometimes when we talk about these issues, we think, oh, the woman's a bad woman, or the man must have done something to her. Therefore, she was bad and she did something. You know, I was talking to a young lady yesterday, and I was talking about, but my divorce came up. I don't like to talk about it, but I said, yeah, I've been married before and divorced. And, you know, I said the court proceedings were something that I'll never go through again. And her first response was, I wonder what you did to her. Right. So, wow. You wonder what I did to her. That's kind of always the narrative. And it is almost assumed that if the relationship ended, that someone did something wrong. Well, that's not always the case. Of course, people will say somebody wronged me. I didn't like this about some situation. I wanted to find happiness. But at some particular point, we do have to admit that men and women can't get divorced and you could have done nothing wrong. A woman's going to admit this and she's going to tell you, and maybe you can predict this. What do you think she was chasing more than anything? All right. She's going to tell you what she was chasing coming down into that divorce. She wanted one thing and one thing only. And she said she didn't think she could have this and have a husband. All right, what do you think that is? And later on in today's show, we got Crime and Law CGA, Jonathan Majors admitting to strangling his ex-girlfriend. All right, holy mackerel. All right, Jonathan Majors admitting to strangling his ex-girlfriend. You know, the one we said she bonked her head and her finger. All right, there's audio of this nigga admitting. All right, there's audio of this nigga admitting that, yes, he put hands on her neck. He got that neck, you know, yes, indeed. And I love to get a good neck around here. And the ladies love when I get their neck. All right. But he admitted to strangling his girl. Gotcha, bitch. All right. He admitted to strangling his white girlfriend, Grace Jabari, the one that bunked her head and hurt her finger. Her. Gotcha, bitch. He got her neck. According to his admission, will this affect his rebound coming into the fact that, you know, some studios are looking to hire him? And will this affect his rebound? Plus, we got Rachel Rizz on Straggle and Sniggle Theater and all of that. But to contribute to today's show, $ the Notorious CGA on the Cash App. It's Venmo, Coach Greg Adams TV. PayPal is PayPal.me/Coach Greg Adams. And that is near the top of the description box on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. And yes, you can super chat by clicking the link on the top of the live chat on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. Okay, give it to me. New world order. All right, still in the United Kingdom. Sporty for me. All right, I actually talked to some real English people today. All right, and she said, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, Mr. Negro." That's what she wanted to say. Excuse me, Mr. Negro. You know, they were dressed, you know, old couple. It was like, you know, 3 people. It was 2 old women and 1 old guy. He had the flat hat on like he was going golfing. All he was missing was the baggy pants and shit. You know what I mean? And he came out. They was all buttoned up in their proper UK attire, sir. And then they saw me standing out there. I was taking pictures and shit with my tripod. And they saw me and said, "Pardon me, Mr. Negro." All right. They didn't say that, but they said, "Pardon me, sir." And I could barely understand what they were saying. Perhaps you can tell us where to take a taxi, sir. I'm like, bitch, I don't work here. New world order. I hit her with this. Gotcha, bitch. I don't work at this motherfucker. All right, why you asking me? Do I look like I'm the doorman? I know every time I see a Negro, he a doorman in this motherfucker. Gotcha, bitch. And they be dressed fine, dude. These brothers are dressed well. These brothers are dressed well being a doorman, bruv. I was like, bitch, I don't work here. Gotcha, bitch. I hit her with some American shit, you know what I mean? And she was like, oh. She clutched her pearls. Almighty. Right, watercress and cracker. I was like, bitch, I ain't know what the fuck. Do I look like I catch a cab? I'm not from this bitch. I'm a guest at this hotel. All right, but do you have some gray poupon, you old fogey? All right, anyway, and look at your teeth is all yellow and brown. All right, anyway. Oh, heavens to Betsy, she said. Yes, she did. She said heavens to Betsy and clutched her pearls. And why I never. Gotcha, bitch. And you never will at this point. All right, anyway. All right, anyway. Nah, I didn't go off on the woman. I told her, oh, my fine fair maiden, young lady, you old goose, you old hen, you old maid. I don't have any Grey Poupon as beach. All right. Anyway, do you have any Grey Poupon? Where's your Rolls Royce? I have a Rolls Royce. I don't take cabs here. All right. All right. And a spot of tea and the hip chip and the Cheerio to you, you bitch. All right. I don't work here. All right. Anyway. Shout out to everybody, United Kingdom. It's been great. All right. It's my last day here. And I will be heading on to gay party. All right. Paris Français. Pardon me. Paris Français. All right. I'll be streaming from Paris. All right. Next. Not tomorrow. I'm traveling tomorrow. But I'll be in Paris Français. In a wee. All right. I know no French. I'm going in raw. I'm going to Paris Français raw. Boy, will they be pissed off when my black ass gets there, because I'm not going to know no French. I'm going to say hon and a wee. That's all I'm going to know. Hon. Bonjour. All right. I'm going to say is, do you know any croissant? All right. They're going to have any croissant where we are? I'm going to say hotel, croissant, Eiffel Tower, hon, we read. All right. It is. Gotcha, bitch. All right. Anyway. Yeah. It's going to be good, man. Boy, the United Kingdom driving around here is terrible. Just my bit of advice. Do not rent a car here. All right. You're not getting around town. And apparently they have congestion zones where they will find you and take a picture of your car. And they also have places where they will take a picture of your car if you're speeding, going 20 miles an hour over and busting illegal U-turns. Yeah, not my kind of place. Just pay for the Uber or the taxi. All right. You're good. You're not getting around anytime fast, bro. It is shitty traffic over here. It's terrible traffic. All right. Anyway. And I'll tell you how Paris is too when I get there, man. I'm not, it's only a few places that I'm not even staying there long. All right. I'm going over to the red light district in Amsterdam. Gotcha, bitch. All right. That's where I'm headed at. I'm only going to be in Paris only for a few days. All right. Anyway. 20 miles an hour. I'm like, yep. And I would drive on the wrong side of the road. Do not rent a car, bro. Unless you're bruv. You're not rent a car here unless you're used to driving over here. That shit is shitty, bro. Or should I say bruvs? All right. Anyway, let's get into today's show. Get to the earlier contributors to today's show. How about we do that? And this was from yesterday. I believe it was from yesterday, but we'll read them from yesterday too. Shout out to the Real Fit Styles is in the building. What do you have to say, brother? He says, I hear, Coach, one of my JUCOs came over the other night crying, pouring her heart out about her life struggles. And at the end, she said, if I could just be with you, all my problems will be solved. He says, you just can't make this shit up. Yeah, I got time, cuz. Okay. One thing about the JUCO, let me tell you, man. And I had a great conversation with my brother Kaleem. He's a Money Mindset member. He's been watching the show for many, many years and met up with him. I drove his McLaren. All right. I might have to send him a repair bill for one issue. My bad, bro. My bad, bruv. All right. I didn't mean to do it, but I get it. All right. But one thing about the JUCO is definitely the backdoor relationship. Okay. And our brother, LL Cool C from South Africa, he labeled it the backdoor relationship. You have to think about this. The girls that are at the JUCO, they're not full-time escorts. Although they're escorts over there, they're not streetwalkers. They're average, everyday women. And because they're average, everyday women, they're conflicted as to about what they're doing, right? So they're basically playing Bumble, but with you having the advantage. So they're playing Bumble with you having the advantage. If you allow them to, they will sink their claws into you because they're conflicted. They're not used to slanging punani around. They're doing it, but they're not used to doing it like this. So they do want an off-ramp on Highway 304. And if you play it in such a way, they will latch onto your ass. Latch. Because they're like, this is the perfect situation. Perfect combination. This is the perfect combination. You have money. Well, you have access to money. You're willing to be generous with them to open their legs. You have an open relationship. You open your wallet. They open your legs. It's pretty straightforward. Sometimes y'all might hit that bottom. Some of y'all going raw. and hitting that bottom. Some of y'all cream pieing them, right? So let me tell you, man, they already doing the nasty out here. It ain't like they not doing the nasty. They already been doing the nasty. Now they went over to transactional nasty. But you still hitting that bottom. You still hitting it raw, cream pieing. You guys are still doing some sort of romantic dating and relationships. And thus, one of the traps is that they're going to latch on to you. They're going to see you as daddy. You're literally going to be daddy to them. And as such, they're looking for daddy relationships. That's why they're over there. They don't mind it. But we do have to understand that some of us are way above the fray. So on our side, the man side, a lot of men are 60, 65. A lot of dudes have money, drunkards. They do lines of coke on dates. They don't give a fuck, right? They're just trying to fold up the girl. So they're not trying to impress us. But what we're doing is we're going above and beyond. We're a little bit younger. We don't fit the current model of the exact model of somebody carrying on, unless they're a football player or a politician. So they're like, hey, this guy's great. This guy's great. Why don't we just be together? All right. And so, yes, they will try to push you into a backdoor traditional relationship, which you must balk at. You must make sure you put up your defenses and have these things you tell them. There's 3 options. All right. Pick 1 or 2. You don't get all 3. But they will latch on for sure. All right. Because these women are out here. But people don't realize this. Most, if not all women, and I'm going to just say most, they're out here floundering, bro. They don't know what the fuck's going on. Even if they have a career. I saw somebody showed me a video of a woman. She was a streamer, a Puerto Rican streamer. And apparently 5 dudes home invaded her and she's successful. She had no firearms, no man in the house. They pistol whipped her, took all the keys to the cars, but she had a kill switch on the car, so they didn't get the cars. But she was like, then they found out they had a kill switch on the car, and then they came back into the house to come get her. So even if a woman's financially successful, she's still vulnerable. And thus, what you will find is that, yes, they will find a way to be like, hey, dude, they'll move across the country for you. I've had JUCOs tell me they'll move across the country to come be with me. And you're just like, God damn, bro. So you do have to have your defenses up. You do have to understand that being at the JUCO, you're playing with fire. And listen, when you're messing with women, you're playing with fire. All right. They're all dependopotamuses. They all out here broke. All right. Let me see if I can find the broke here.
Can't you get it through your thick skull that I'm broke? Dead, flat, stony, broke. I've got $3.85.
I don't know if you can hear the sound effects, but most women are just floundering financially in a variety of ways. They're perpetrating a fraud. They're telling you they're making it, but they're not. So be careful. You need to be careful at all times dealing with these ones at the JUCO. And a lot of us are experimenting ourselves, and you're not ready for the bullshit. All right. So anyway, thank you for bringing that up. Yes, the backdoor relationship is real, which at first they'll set it up transactionally. And then the next thing you know, they're boyfriend and girlfriend. And you're like, how the fuck? So you got to give them 3 options. You say, number 1, is it loud? Okay, you hear the sound effects today. You tell them this. You say, tell them, and this is what we tell you on Locals. You tell them, hey, listen, I know you're looking for a boyfriend. You're looking for a father figure. I will be your father figure. Put your tiny hand in mine. I will be your preacher, teacher to the end of time. All right, so they're looking for a father figure, and they ain't got no daddies out here, especially if she's a black woman. She ain't got no daddy. All right, but if she's Latina, white, they ain't got no fucking strong fathers. They looking for father figure, and they looking for a fucking wallet. So here's what you tell them. Number 1, you want support. Okay, yeah, we can handle that. I'll agree to that. Number two, you like to be treated. All right, I like nice things. I want to be spoiled. All right, I'm not a big spoiling guy, but let me, they'll ask for that. Then they're like, can you be monogamous and get rid of all your whores? Okay, now wait a minute. You done went too far. On Fixes Binds LLC, we only do possibly 2 of the 3, maybe 1. So you want a guy that's fit, fabulous at almost 50. You want a guy to support you. You want a guy that will have an open relationship with you. You open your wallet, you open your legs. We're good with that. You want a guy that spoils you and treats you to nice things and take you on vacations and shopping sprees and VIPs. And then you also want him to be monogamous. If you don't get the fuck up out of my face.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
If you don't get the fuck up out of my face. But you know, we do have to tell people about the JUCO. These women are not streetwalkers. They're not. They're women trying to get their minds fixed. So they're your regular everyday girl, and they're like, I want to marry you. You're like, bitch, marry me.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Marry me? I don't think so. Marry? Yeah, they'll want to marry your ass, all right, and put your ass right back on the plantation, and you stuck there with a fine-ass young beach. All right? A fine-ass young beach. I had 2 Russian chicks this week, and they was fucking gorgeous, bruh. One of them tried to put me on the plantation. I'm like, all right, like what? All right, I was like, Natasha. I had a straight-up 2 Natashas. Most of people saw them on locals, certainly 9s or 10s. I wouldn't say a 10, certainly a 8.5 or 9, both of them. All right, knockouts. All right, when I'm walking down the street in London, everybody's like, yeah. My concierge at the hotel is like, this nigga is going ham. All right, anyway. All right, yes, indeed. Yeah, but watch out. Shout out to the urban naturalist is in the building. That's what I'm going to call you, because the other name, I don't even know what it is. But he says, thank you, coach. Appreciate you guys, man. Of course, I'm just here to do a show. All right, keep my ratings just to let you guys know I'm alive. And I know YouTube ain't shit without me. It ain't shit without me. But yeah, there's dangers of anytime you're dealing with women, there's a danger. So always know that there's a fine print that they're trying to drag you in. I'll do whatever you say, ass bitch. And then they don't do whatever they say no more. Shout out to our brother here. It is Joshua Moon said the sound effects are good, coach. All right, I had to turn them up. I had to crank them up. All right, but shout out to y'all. I had to do at least 2-hour show just to give y'all something and be like, I'm still alive. You know, let me keep my spot. Because you know, it's just like CGA ain't streaming. This is our chance, ass niggas. All right, anyway. All right, this ain't your chance. I'm still good. We got our brother H every day had this to say. Was this from yesterday or today? Okay, I'm going to do 2 more and I'm going to get back to the show. I promise. H every day says, Coach, I've been living the free agent lifestyle all the time ever since my older brother put me onto Too Short. Pause. In the 80s as a child, he says, I am corrupted, or I'm a player for life. They ask me, where's my wife? She probably at rehab or stuck on the pipe. That's a Too Short original. CGA, he says right here, I'm corrupted or I'm a player for life. They ask me, where is my wife? She probably at rehab or stuck on a pipe. 100%. I don't know that lyric, but yes, that's probably where that's a good place to have your wife. As the old pimps used to say, I used to drive them insane. There was a phrase they used to say about what happens to they old hoes. They either get driven insane or they go crazy. I can't remember what it is, but that's indicative of, you know, older women. They do go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So they mostly don't do better for themselves. They're not Vivica A. Fox. So most of the time we drive these women's crazy out here. We drive these women's crazy. All right. But we don't mean it, ladies. It's mostly y'all fault. But do me a favor. I know y'all mean to hit that like button. Look, we're going to stop the show. Hey, I don't got shit to lose. I'm just fucking sitting here. This is a freebie. All right. But do me a favor. Let's hit the damn like button. Just give me the likes. Don't pass the scroll. Mugga. Oh, did you drive them you put them in jail, or do you drive them insane? That's what it is. All right. You put them in jail, or you drive them insane. You know, that's what we do to these ladies. But I think it's the ladies' fault. It is not our fault. It's not our fault. I need at least 600 likes here early on in the show. And then we'll ask for 800. Then we'll ask for fucking 1,000. All right, but it's not our fault. I think the ladies really be overplaying their hand. Ladies, just keep it simple. Let's just keep it simple. You guys need to stop asking men for monogamy. All right, that's number one. Not especially successful men. This is egregious. All right, stop asking successful men to give up his hoes. For what? So you can control my dick? No. All right, they're like, all right, I'm here. Now you can give up everything. No. Stop asking. Okay, just deal. Look, baby, do you have a good situation? They will mess up a good thing. We're going to talk about this when we talk about this woman divorcing. They will literally mess up a good thing. You got the best thing going for you. You got a man. I mean, it's hard to get a man. You got man supporting you, putting house, you're making house and home. All right, providing for you, giving him his DNA. He's strangling himself with the legal system. And then you over here want to, control his peen. Like you're special. You're not special. You're not that special, baby. All right, there's billions of punani. There are at least 4 billion punanis on the planet. I could go get punani somewhere else. I ain't got to put up with your bullshit. But they'll be in there with a good old marriage, and they're like, I want to go get a career. I want to focus on my job. All right, bitch, what job? Your job is me. All right, get to work. All right.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch.
Get the fucking work. But I feel like if I make a contribution and focus on my career.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch.
What career? You don't have a career. You have a series of jobs. What career are you talking about? Lady, shout out to the career women out here. What career is this you speaking about? You have a series of jobs that are leading absolutely nowhere, but we still need about 40 likes before I start the show. You're sitting here saying, Coach, start the show. I can't even get the 600 likes, but I'm getting another extra 100 viewers. So now I need 700 likes and I'll start the show.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch.
Otherwise, I'm going to just fucking hammer around here. You know what I mean? What is this in my tea? All right. Is this some fucking, what is this? Benny Hill tea? Right, anyway. All right. Yes, you don't have a career. Most people don't have careers, just so you guys know. And most people will never have a career. Okay. My YouTube career just happened in my 40s. All right. So what was I doing between 18 and 40? 2 other careers.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch.
Right. You're going to have a series of jobs at best. At best. You're going to go from job to job to job. You don't have a fucking career. All right. But anyway. All right. This is crazy. Somebody says I should stop asking for monogamy for all men that can't find. They find attractive because obviously other people do too. Yeah, if I want monogamy, it goes for undesirable men. Yeah, I mean, dude, if they're telling you you're the best, you're the greatest, but they're telling you can't get no side punani, you can't, ma'am, you'll get over this. You'll get over it. Okay, just stop with the bullshit. I know, man. We almost there to 700 because we got 1,300, so I'm trying to get halvesies. We got one more Cash App, and I need to acknowledge it. Then I'll get on with the show. We should be at 700. Halvesies. We got our brother here. It is Jones G says, fly McLaren on the IG post. We bossing up in 2025. Have you felt the energy of the boss up 2025? Have y'all been feeling this? Can you feel the transition? I didn't have to announce it. It's been a steady progression here. But let me show y'all something here for the people that want to know that don't follow me on the gram. I know y'all don't follow me on the gram all the time. So I'll show y'all this real quick. CGA bossing up, man. Fuck the rest. Y'all can stay back there if y'all want to. Y'all can stay back in 2018 if y'all want to. But nigga, it's time to press forward. It's time to show you what the results of the free agent lifestyle could be. It's time to show you what the results of the free agent lifestyle is. It's enough to say we're going free agent. But can you live the free agent lifestyle? And I don't know if I can play some of the music in here, so I'll keep the volume down right there. That's your boy, okay, living life good. They're at the Towers of London. There I am at the London Eye. All right, if you don't know what that is, that's a huge Ferris wheel. And there I am in jolly old England at Big Ben. All right, yes, indeed, if you ever wanted to know. Buckingham Palace. I shouldn't say that in the UK. And of course, I'm at the Emirates Stadium over there watching some football. All right. Yes, indeed. Watching some football on the pitch. On the pitch, living the free agent lifestyle. I ain't bring no girl with me, bruh. Now, there's places you can bring, I should say, bruv. There's places you can bring girls with you, but most of the time you don't need to. But it's litty out here, man. The lifestyle is litty. And let me show you, boy, your boy out there with the red telephone booth. I'm really here. This is not a green screen. Okay. And it's funny, all the UK content creators, they're radio silent. They're like, oh, I don't know you're here. Nobody's reached out, communicated. You know, they want me to beg them. There I am at the hotel. All right. And if you show up there, they got mad security here. So don't think you're going to show up and see me here because I'll be gone by the time you get here. But your boy out here living the free agent lifestyle. If you don't know, Kaleem's McLaren showed up right there. Your boy Kaleem's McLaren. And yes, it's Get 'em Daddy season. Your boy out here with the proper attire for the UK. It's cold out here too. So you got to button up. My boy tailored up and got a nice fit on. Let me see. What's the rest of it? I think that's the last one. Oh, yeah, that's your boy out there. Ooh, that's your boy out there riding clean, bruv. Look at them shoes clean, all of that, boy, in the bag of Chips Ahoy. You can see that right there. You can see your boy living the free agent lifestyle. It ain't enough to just say you a free agent. You got to live the free agent lifestyle right there. Your boy out there, look at him gleaming. Never seen a light like this. Want to take a charge, another hit? Yes. Whipping up the pot fish grits. Never seen a night like this. Yes, indeed, man. I'm trying to show you, man, the free agent lifestyle ain't about just saying, we're not going to date anymore. There's a purpose. The purpose is to live it to the point where you get to this. You travel around. That's what was in the book, The Free Agent Lifestyle. Look at your boy out there. Big boy things. Big boy things out there with the, not with the Burberry scarf, nigga. Not with the Burberry scarf. Yes, indeed. Okay, so wait till we get to Paris. I'm going to just say that right quick. All right. But if you haven't followed my Instagram, go over to Instagram.com/Coach Greg Adams TV. Check out my stories. I have all of my travel shit from not all of them, because most of my travel happened before there was Instagram, certainly before there were video phones, right? We would just take pictures. So I do have pictures of travel shit, but you know, it is what it is. All right. Anyway, let me see here. Let's get to this part of the show. Thank you for the likes. We're at 700 plus, so we're going to get to the show. Here we go. It is Straggle and Sniggle Theater. All right, that's what it is first here.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right?
All right, Straggle and Sniggle Theater, let's go. I have no sound effect, but let's get into it right here. Speaking of the JUCO, we're going to go to an OG JUCO professor. His name is Bob Barker. They're calling him on the internet now Bob Knock 'em Down Barker. And he asks, how old are you? My favorite question, because it smells like Teen Spirit. This was back in the day when you were an older man. You could be like, smells like Teen Spirit. All right. But Bob Barker, yeah, he caught a case or two from these what do you call them? Not Wheel of Fortune, Price is Right 304s. But let's listen to Bob OG Get 'em Daddy, Bob Barker.
Have you? Really? How long have you waited for that kiss?
Oh, I don't know, years
Really?
since I was little, watching Price is Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I've been waiting for it myself, I have a feeling. All right, now listen, Denise. I beg your pardon?
You look great.
I couldn't hear
You're
you.
very handsome.
Thank you, Denise. There's no sense of going on with this game if you have anything else you wish to say. Denise, whisper in my ear, how old are you? Just right.
Get 'em, daddy.
My man said just right.
Get 'em, daddy.
Oh my goodness. Hey,
Get 'em, daddy.
shout out to Bob Barker. My man said, and I'm feeling that one.
Get 'em, daddy.
We don't have to say how old you are. We just have to hear it and then, oh, really? Just right.
Get 'em, daddy.
All right, damn. Do I have the prices right on that, bitch? I needed the prices right ready to go on that one. Hold on for a second. I don't think I have the prices right, but I should have the prices right. Let me see if I can get one up there, because that deserves the prices right there. My man said just right. Okay, there's no prices right. That's a damn shame.
Get 'em, daddy.
There is a Get 'em Daddy. All right. Oh, JUCO age, you say? My man said just right. The free agent lifestyle should never go away. I'm going to tell you, ladies, what can these girls do for you? I'm going to just say they just right. All right. Shout out to Bob Barker out there with his player ass. All right. He an OG in this space out here.
Have you? Really? How
see you.
how long have you waited for that kiss?
Oh, I don't know, years
Really?
since I was little watching Price is Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I've been waiting for it myself. I have a feeling. All right, now listen, Denise. I beg your pardon?
You look great.
I couldn't hear
You're
you.
very handsome.
Thank you, Denise. There's no sense in going on with this game if you have anything else you wish to say. Denise, whisper in my ear, how old are you? Just right.
Yeah. I think the same thing, too. Just right. That's somebody's daughter, Coach. Coach, that's somebody's daughter. I did have the prices right there. I didn't see it right there, but my man said, I'm using that, by the way. I'm stealing that. All right. These men are metaphiles. He's a metaphile, Coach. All right, those men are, those white supremacists are metaphiles. All right, my man said just right. All right, rate his Rizz. All right, rate Bob Barker's Rizz right there. All right, he should be dating women his age. He's intimidated by career women. All right, no, he's not. All right, anyway, let's go to it. Rate your Rizz. We got a cold approaches with this fine-ass Latina Mexican. All right, shout out to the fine-ass Mexicanas over here. All right, Rachel Rizz, we got a fine-ass Mexican chick going to get rizzed up, but the guy, you have to rate his Rizz. Let's see what you think about this Rizz.
My phone number?
She cannot.
Oh, no.
My Instagram, maybe?
All right, so as you can hear here, I think he's acting like he's deaf, all right, and he cannot speak, so he's trying to mumble some words there, and she kind of not falling for it right here. So this is the type of stuff that dudes do when, you know, they call this game. You know, you got to get the numbers how you do. You got to get it how you do. All right, so he's using the, ooh, all right, and let's see if she's sympathetic to this particular game here for this guy.
Anthony, brother.
Mentira, es una broma. Ay, mi teléfono te lo vas a llevar.
Me voy a llevar para andar de mayo.
Oh, no. All right. So that was an interesting Rizz right there.
Gotcha, bitch.
All right. Definitely got her. And she's showing teeth right now, too. So I guess that it did work for the most part, you know.
Niggas always gotta show they teeth.
All right. And so, yeah, he did get her on there. You know what I mean? You goofy broad. You know, I got to get you somehow. Where's the gotcha bitch right there?
Gotcha, bitch.
So I guess. And there she is. He got the Instagram at least. I don't know, man. It's a numbers game, I suppose, with these guys. Game cannot be bought as ninjas. All right, but she a fine piece of calico. Look at that chica. All right, I gotta give me. Well, I do have a chica like that, but I'll take another. All right, here we go.
Yo, ¿cómo le explico? Yo estaba sospechando algo. Te estaba mirando porque te veo la cámara encendida.
Sí, mira, yo hago videos para...
Estaba tiesa.
Sí, estaba toda nerviosa.
And look at me, Madre and Tia Maria. All right, so her Tia and her Madre, the Tia was over there hating earlier. The Tia was over there hating earlier. I'm gonna try to show you again the one in the white, but the Madre is over there shaped like she from Colombia. What the fuck going on with Madre here? All right, hey Madre, I'll take Madre too.
Yo sí. Mira, lo que pasó no carga la señal, pero...
Ay, no puedes. Estaba poniendo en mi Instagram.
Ok, ya, búscalo aquí.
Yo sí decía, pero yo, bueno, no sé, no habla.
Yo me lo imaginé por los lentes. Sí, no, ella no puede.
All right, Tio from the Reading Rainbow right there too. So let me go ahead and show you where the Tia was hating on her for getting rizzed up. Let me see if I can pull that back up and find it and frame it. All right, so let's see if we can get this back up on your screen. There she is right there. She getting rizzed up. And she already in defense mode. All right, she already in defense mode, as you can see, and this is rejection mode. It doesn't matter kind of what you're doing. They just assume when you approach them to get defensive, automatically in rejection mode. And there she is right there. And she's like, something's up. I don't trust. They don't trust you. Women will be like, I trust you. And there she is right there. All right, look at the body language. They don't trust you. They don't like you. They want nothing to do with you for the most part. They think you're something, you're suspicious. And most of the time they're right. So there you go right there. You got to overcome these rejections, overcome these things. And there's Tia about here. Watch Tia. Look at Tia hating. Look at Tia hating. All right. And that's the one thing about a Mexican. You never going to catch one alone. Okay. You never going to catch a Mexican alone. They always going to be with La Familia. But look at hating ass Tia, cock blocking ass Tia came over there. Look, the other girl's titties all lifted up in the air. Okay, let me go ahead and see if we can get this. Look at the young girl's titties, all high and perky. All right, the elasticity ain't all extra. And Tia come over there with them soggy ass titties. He said, that's su madre. All right, that might be her mama. All right, but I'm thinking it's her Tia because mama wouldn't cock block like this. Mama was in the black. All right, Madre was in the black. All right, this is Tia Maria, hating ass Tia. Look at her face right here. Look at hating ass Tia. Why he not asking for my nombre and my number? All right, yeah, with that soggy leche milk titties. All right, titties con queso. All right, yes, indeed. Titties con queso. All right, and she then came over there to cock block the young, fine, well, the just right woman here. All right, anyway. What do you think here? Could be the older sister. It could be the older sister. It could be, but she got them titties con carne and titties con queso. But the other girl, titties all in the air, lifted up, perky. All natural and shit. You know, the areola's out of control, man. Them areolas out of control. Nice and brown. All right, but look at hating ass Tia in the back. All right, look at it. She just going to come over there to cock block. All right, anyway, well, after 5 years, you're going to have Tia titties con carne. That's what you're going to have. All right, so anyway, hating ass Tia. What do you think about that, Rizz, on Straggle and Sniggle Theater? We have also on Straggle and Sniggle Theater, we have this guy right here. He says that black people should not leave the community. In fact, they should not take their kids to suburban neighborhoods. And he's going to give his explanation why. But as we're doing it, we're actually going to look up and check out another video that touches on this subject. So let me start right here. I don't know who this guy is, but we're going to pull him up. Let's see if we can pull him up. Here it is right here. His name is Deontay. Not a surprise. Keontae Glocktavius. How the Math Works on Grits and Eggs podcast. He's talking about assimilating with white people, why black people should not move their black kids to the suburbs. Let me know if you agree with this take.
What are you getting out of putting your black ass child in proximity to white people, especially at a young age? Because if we said if the goal of white supremacy is to erode the soul, what do you think's happening to your children when you subjugate them to ostracization and racism at such a young age? They're like formative years they're spent trying to assimilate with racist. Because if you think they ain't being called a nigger at school, you're out of your fucking mind. You subjecting your kids to racism at such a young age when it's not necessary because you think the education is better. And is it a better education or do they just have better amenities?
Just better amenities.
And how is the education better if the whole educational system is based off of lies and propaganda? What are you expecting? A better education? No, you just think that ice is colder. That's what they think.
Yeah.
They think the closer you are to white people, the better you are, the more equal you'll be. But how the fuck you gonna be equal to people that deemed you 3/5 of a human? How? How does that work? Explain that math to me. Niggas turned you into a fraction of a person. And you standing in front of them whole. And you remove them completely from blackness. They don't have black neighbors. None of their teachers is black. Oh, you think your child at school causing trouble? No, they're being singled out because these people are fucking racist. You just put them in proximity, and I've heard all these different stories about people like having to being subjected to so much racism. That's going to traumatize your child for the rest of their life. So, for the only way for them to have a good experience is to go along. So they have to remove their dignity. They have to remove their pride because you're severely outnumbered. You can't fight everybody, and the more fights you get into, the more of a problem you are. When you're already seen as a problem to begin with. Now, I understand you're making a little money. You're making a little money, and you want your child to have a better education. It's just more resources. That's really what it is. When we go to the poorer schools, they lack resources. They lack funding. Kids have a rougher at home life, so they come to school to express whatever frustration they can't express at home. But better?
No, it's not better.
I mean, this is America. What do you want them in you want them in a nice, clean classroom with a whole bunch of amenities so they could just learn the lies better? So they can learn the propaganda a little better? Because they ain't gonna have no goddamn opinion. And then they grow up and you put them around all these goddamn white people. You remove them from all the blackness, and then you expect them to have black excellence. That ain't how that works.
Okay. All right. I'm pretty sure this is a longer version of this right here, but what do you think about this particular take right here? Do you agree with this? Okay. All right. Well, here's the problem. Has he gone to a white community, or is he just assuming that that's what's happening out there? He said they don't have better education there, which is false, but he says they just have better amenities, which cause people less stress. So there's also this notion that kids in poverty are likely to commit more crime, right? So if you're around blacks that are maybe impoverished, not in the best schools, perhaps they're going to commit more crimes, right? We've also heard that. So now this is whole thing. Don't assimilate with the whites. Just stay with us. This sounds like crab in a barrel situation which he has no experience in. He's just assuming. Are we sure that they're going to be exposed to more racism, or are they not exposed to racism when they're dealing in the hood? So in the hood, there's no police brutality. I thought there was police brutality. They're not going to see their fathers or their brothers with a knee in their neck. All right. They're not going to experience that sort of racism, or you're saying they're going to experience the racism directly if they're around white people. Like, this is like, wow. When I heard this one, I was like, damn. And it reminded me of a video by Brooklyn St. Michael. And this is the video here. And the video is here. They warned blacks not to move to the city. And essentially, to sum up the video, they were saying it would be better for blacks to stay in the rural area than in the city. And they're going to explain why you should go to the rural areas, or you could just throw the suburbs in there, all right, instead of the urban cities. And let's take you to the video here. This is Brooklyn St. Michael. This is probably the second time that I've played a video by him. And let me play the video because there's going to be some familiar names. Even Frederick Douglass says, don't go to the cities, okay? Stay away from the cities. The cities are not for you.
Federal authorities and native whites often worked in close harmony to curb black movement into the cities and to force the freed slaves back onto the plantations. Few northern whites espoused the cause of the ex-slave more forcefully than Clinton B. Fisk, a Freedmen's Bureau officer who commanded the respect of most blacks. And when he admonished them to remain on the plantations, few doubted that he thought this the best way for them eventually to realize their aspirations. Fisk was a northern white who was respected by blacks, and he tried to give them his best advice on moving into the city. In the congested cities, Fisk warned,
"You will wear your lives away in a constant struggle to pay high rent for miserable dwellings and scanty allowances of food. Many of your children, I greatly fear, will be found wandering through the streets as vagrants plunging into the worst of vices and filling the workhouses and jails."
This was his prophecy and his vision he saw for blacks if they moved into the city.
Okay, so we'll stop it right there. There's going to be a little bit more that I want to add to this, but was he wrong though? was he wrong? With what do we see in the cities? We see exactly that urban decay. So this guy is advocating stay in the rural areas, but also keeping you on the plantations. You can make far less, and it will be better than making more in the city, because around the city you're going to have these vagrants. But the other guy is saying stay in the cities around your people. All right, because your people, this is better for your children. All right, let me see if we can pull this up here a little bit more and go deeper into the video. Here we go.
The children would end up wandering the streets and getting into the worst vices. And this would be the case, especially when parents were busy looking for work and struggling to maintain the basic necessities, right? That would leave the children to raise themselves in the streets. And without a certain value system and a certain type of training, they would drift into the realm of vice or into the dark side of the city, right? So Fisk gave the warning to not go into the city, right? Because they weren't really prepared for city living. And he wasn't the only one to give that warning. Invoking almost the same images, Black leaders, newspapers, and conventions repeated the same advice and affirmed the agrarian mystique to which most Americans, white and Black, still adhered.
He that tilleth the land shall have plenty of bread,
declared the Black newspaper in Augusta, Georgia, and others played on that same theme, which was to say remain in the fields and in the agricultural professions. If they did so, they would always have a means to survive. The freed slaves who came to the cities exposed themselves to high rents, exorbitant prices, and unemployment, whereas in the country they can always make a living, perhaps even save enough to purchase at some future date their own farms.
You have no trade adapted to city life.
One Black editor advised the freedmen, which was true on one hand, but on the other hand, I do respect them for at least making the attempt to try something new. They didn't have the skills adapted to city life, but they went for it, and I have to give them some credit for that. That being the case, he warned, they would be compelled to find alternatives to legitimate occupations if they persisted in settling in urban centers.
Many who flock to these large cities are very apt to partake of all the vices prevalent.
Notice that he said many, not all, but many, because there's always exceptions. All Blacks didn't come into the city acting a fool, but many did, and they were attracted to the prevalent vices,
such as rum drinking, playing cards, picking pockets, and knocking men down with bludgeons for the sake of a little recreation.
Which is similar to what is called the knockout game today, right? These were...
Whoever wrote this called it. All right, I'm going to just let you know, whoever wrote this, whoever he's quoting for, called it a mile away. So here's the problem. The previous guy said that the children who assimilate will be exposed to racism. But if they're staying in the city, they're going to be exposed to this: vices, hustling, playing cards, bludgeoning people, the knockout game, right? We all know these things exist. Do not act like they don't exist. Roaming the streets alone while the two parents work. So it's not a utopia on the other side. So you're saying Black people are leaving utopia and giving assimilation, but there's a utopia back with Black folks. All right, whoever wrote this shit called it. In fact, Frederick Douglass is quoted on here as saying some similar things. We'll see how far we can get into that portion of the video. Let me see if I can go here. Here we go.
Some of the vices that the newspaper editor says many of the Blacks were drawn to. The rum drinking and the gambling were already habits picked up by Negroes during slavery, but it amplified in the city by them being around so many more people who did the same thing.
What little money you may have will soon be squandered in loathsome rum shops, generally kept by those who are Negro haters, although they profess to be friends while your money lasts. If you carry on in this way, you will soon become strolling vagabonds, and honest men will shun you.
And that includes honest people who also considered themselves Black. They would shun the Negroes who continued in the realm of vice. Few agrarian leaders set forth as cogently the evils that lurked in the city. In addressing the recently freed Blacks of Maryland, Frederick Douglass, who had himself drifted toward the city as a fugitive slave, tried to disabuse their minds of the notion that urban living and freedom were somehow inseparable.
I believe $150 in the country is better than $400 in the city,
he insisted, and this is specifically for the Negro in general, because all groups did not have a strong drawing to vices like the Negroes did. Right? The Negroes had their minds jacked up from slavery, which made vice more attractive to many of them. And on top of that, the whites were still targeting them to try to keep them in the pit, right? So Mr. Douglas suggested that it was better to make less money in the country than to move into the city and make more money. Since fewer temptations existed in the country to lead them astray, they would live more economically, accumulate their savings, and become landowners.
If the colored people of Maryland flocked to Baltimore, crowding the alleys and by streets, woe betide them. Sad indeed will be their fate. They must stick to the country and work.
And we know how the black part of Baltimore has looked in the past and how it still looks today.
These are Negro Domuses. Whoever, Frederick Douglass, obviously you know him, and we know the other brothers. We don't know who the other brother was. I didn't quite get the reference. They predicted exactly this, the current state. So let's take and juxtapose both positions. This brother says, the pro-black brother says, stay in the hoods, or let's just say stay in the communities. It will be better for the child. But juxtapose this to what these two people had, Frederick Douglass and the other guy. They both warned prior to what we live today, exactly what would be the situation. Do not go to Baltimore, because Baltimore will end up being vagabond. You'll end up being vagrants or vagabonds in jail, filling the jails. It'd be better to live in the country and make less than to go to the city and make more because of the vices. Man, I'll tell you, man, that's a home fucking run. But the reason why I wanted to play both videos is because I thought it would be good conversation with you. But nonetheless, it's Straggle and Sniggle Theater. Do me a favor, hit the like button.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right?
Straggle and Sniggle Theater out. Yes, we're still in London. Shout out to the Coach Gang. Let me catch up on any super chats if there may be. And if you feel free, contribute to today's show. All right, we're putting on the show. All right, and it's Fold Up, Get 'em Daddy season out here. Let me see if there's any Cash App activity. Shout out to Jones G. And at the very least, you can hit the like button. Just give me the likes. Don't pass or scroll. All right. Let me see here. Let me sign in to PayPal and see if there's some action over there, or maybe on Venmo if there's some action need be over there that we need to express. Yes, it is Rosie Poppy. He says, hey, coach, flatbacks, linglings, they're beautiful, but don't nothing compare to a bad Latina. He says, my God, man. He says, Miami is paradise. I wish I could show my JUCOs. He says, fellas, get your money up. Trust me. Join the money mindset. My God, Latinas, man. He says, can't say nothing more about it. Well, this is what I can say to our brother here.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
All right. Our brother Rosie Poppy is.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
All right. He is in Miami, fresh in Miami, and he going crazy for Mamacita over there. Yes, indeed. He says, my Lord.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
All right. He about to go through all his little money. All right. Because the Mamacitas are they'll go through your money. But see, the thing is with the Mamacita is they'll go through your money, but they'll do it with a smile and they'll empty your balls out right down the gullet. All right. So they're not going to give you no problems. They just will slowly burn through your funds. All right. But anyway, 100% Latinas are fantastic women, man. They are fantastic women. Now there's plus and minuses to all women. If you haven't watched my show for a long time, there's pluses and minuses to all them women. All right. So a Latina will cut you, and they know some they know cartelos. They all know gang members. All right. Or drug dealers, or they all know somebody that own a nightclub. There might be one of their cousins, Primo, or little puppet. All right. So that's the problem with them, the Latinas. All right. They're about 2 degrees from Primo. And their Uncle Tio her Uncle Tio's a simp, but he knows some people too. But are they great human beings? They are great. Sexy mamacitas. Sexy mamacitas. But you got to get them young. Or, well, let me say this. You got to get them just right. We have to call it just right now. You have to get them just right. But enjoy your time in Miami with all of them beautiful Latinas. He says, Trev Swag says, boss up from South Africa in the building. Shout out to our favorite African-American, Elon Musk from South Africa. Nate Daniel says, hey, coach, he said, here's a cup of coffee. Wish I could support more, but I do what I can. Thank you for the show. Also, I have a question. Can you break down the CGA version of leverage? He said, sometimes I think I understand, but it's all context clues, if I'm honest. Thank you for that question, and I appreciate the support and supporting where you can. Leverage basically is on akin to abundance, but leverage is putting yourself in a position that you are not vulnerable. For instance, if you're broke dating, what'll happen is you won't have enough to be able to overcome the critical part where the woman gets froggy. Then you don't have leverage. Then she just simply dips. Or you don't have an abundance. So you have leverage, financial leverage over the person that is so significant that they can't overcome it by simply just running you through dates. All right. You go through date number 1, 2, and 3. Most of the time you go broke and then you get desperate and then you go, well, I better take this one and invest more time in this one as opposed to having nothing. When you have leverage, you can afford it. Date 1, 2, and 3. And if they want to act right, you can just say, hey, it was a loss. It was a lost amount of money. Now I can go to the next one. You can afford to be able to date as many women as you want to date, or leverage in the fact that you have an abundance of things that you could do. One particular piece of leverage that I have is that women that are at my home, women that are in my home city, they don't have leverage in the fact that I can just leave and go international. Okay, so that is a tremendous leverage that I have over them to where they have to wait for me. Okay, so, or I could take them with me, but that would be foolish. Now, there's places you can take women. I'm actually have to put a list together of places you probably be better off taking someone as opposed to places that you shouldn't take women to at all. Okay, you should just go there and enjoy the women that are there. But that particular thing, it forces them to wait. They have to wait. Okay, so they can't just be like, I'll go with you and I'll pay. They can't pay it. They can't pay half the hotel. They can't pay. Or they can ask to go, but I can be like, no. And they know what I'm about to be doing. I'm going to be cleaning house where I'm going. And they'll say it. They'll tell me. They'll probably, listen, they'll say things like this. You probably have girls lined up everywhere you're going. That's leverage. That would be leverage. That's them emitting leverage. Even though these women are very attractive women. Okay, but they know they got to give up the ghost. Now, if you were in a relationship, you have no leverage to that. So if you said, number one, if you said, hey, I'm gonna go to a trip and I'm gonna live life like CGA, your wife is like, no, you're not. You're not going there, or I'm going with you. You're not about to just spend 12 days over in Europe folding up flatbacks, just right age. So that's no leverage. Then let's take a look at this. If you do go by yourself, she basically going to stipulate that you better not fuck anybody when you get over there. Right? You might not be fucking anybody when you get over there. So they're like, I hope you better not be messing with nobody else. I'll divorce you. That's no leverage. Can you see the difference between leverage and leverage, or a leverage and no leverage? Okay. You basically can be like, well, it is what it is. You got to deal with it. Or you have to be like, well, all right, I guess I can't do it because I can't afford it, or I have a girlfriend, or I have a wife, or she won't let me do it. That's no leverage. And there's a variety of other ways where you can talk about leverage, and it just doesn't have to do with women. If you have hobbies, that's leverage. If you have hobbies, if you have a situation where like a lot of women will ask you about what are your hobbies? You know what they're asking? They don't care about your hobbies as much as they care about how much time are you going to take away from them with your hobbies. So how much time are you going to spend doing these things? How much money are you going to spend towards these things? Now, when you have she perceives you to not be favorable advantage economically, that question to her is important because she knows you have a limited resources. Let's say she wants a relationship with you. What happens is now she knows that your limited resources potentially may be going to something that is expensive, costly. It will take attention away from her. So that is an important question. If you say, I don't do much, that might be attractive to her or it might not be. But let's say she might say, good, he'll focus all his attention and money on me. Or she might say he's kind of a lame loser. He has nothing going on. Now, when any woman pulls up to my garage, they see motorcycles, ATVs, multiple motorcycles, ATVs, a supercar, right? A nice sports car, couple of vehicles, a truck. Right? So they're like, okay, if I can't keep his attention, he has something else to do. Okay. They walk into my house and they're like, okay, this guy has responsibilities and other things to do. I can see a gun collection over there. He has a game room with 8 or more consoles, from Nintendo, a regular Nintendo, all the way up to PlayStation 5. Okay. He got a whole room full of collectibles. He's got a whole room of collectibles. When women walk in that room, they be like, oh, wow. So now they're looking at, okay, I got to compete against this, because the minute I don't, it doesn't seem like he has a lot of time to waste. Yep. If they come in and see fishing poles, right? They come in and see all this shit. They're like, okay, God dang. They come in and see a clean house. These are examples of leverage. Your house is clean. Your kitchen is clean. They see you be able to make a steak. They be like, oh, you got barbecue grill, pellet grill. Oh yeah, I cook and cook. That's leverage. Okay, that is leverage. So these are small things that you can do to improve your life. And it goes back to the free agent lifestyle. You have to set yourself up first there before you come out here to mess with women. If you do it opposite, you're going to find yourself wasting a significant amount of time. Yep, they see golf clubs. I'm like, okay, golf clubs. Yep, I go golfing 3 times a week and twice on Sunday. Most women are going to run from that. So these are leverages that people don't really look at. No one teaches men this. They teach you to go cold approaching 100 women. And I think that's absolute foolish. All right. Now, when you're young, 20, 21, I get it. You got to learn to talk to women. You got to talk to women. You can't be scared. I agree with that. But to tell men, especially grown-ass men, that game is going to get women, it is the opposite. It's that game is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in 2025. Game is, dude, you can't even define game. What the fuck is game? Game is what you need. Okay, what is it? I'll wait. Muscles and money and so you're doing it all to get the woman. But when you get the woman, you give up all the leverage with your game. Game is so dumb. I cannot tell you how dumb I think when I hear game. It is the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard. Okay. It is so dumb because it's one of those things. It's kind of like God. It's kind of like God. When you mention God, all right, and then if you disagree with, well, you don't know my God. It's so dumb. It's one of those things that I think is like a fantasy to men that they think they're doing, but they're not really doing it, right? Or you think you have a relationship with God, but you don't. You know what I mean? Like you out here fucking and fornicating, but you then turn to God. It's the dumbest shit ever. Nobody in the history, like in my entire life, has been able to make sense in the last, well, let me just say this. Let me just say this, because the dudes saying they got game got absolutely no game. All right. I mean, they got no motherfucking game. And I hear them switching up the definition. In the last 15 years, anybody that has talked about game inevitably has had no game. I mean, I'm like, you ain't got no fucking game. You know what game is? This is to me what game is. Anybody else tell you something different, they out of their motherfucking mind. And we've been talking about game since the 90s, and game has been around since the 80s. But this is what game is. All right, you got a bitch sitting on your lap, and you see another bitch, and you basically tell her to get up so you can go get the other one. That's game. And the other girl just stay there, goofy mouthed, waiting for you to come back. That's game. All right, that right there is game. Not no one-on-one bitch that you trying to finesse and spin plates. That ain't no game, nigga. You trying to teach her this and tell her this and train her and control her up. That's not game. Right? That is not game. Mouthpiece is not game. All right, you just could walk up to a girl and get her number. A lot of guys can do that, bro. You could lead her down some control path that you feel like you're controlling, leading her down, and she just playing there like a wet puppy. Game to me is that, where I just got a bitch on my lap, like, yeah, bitch, you know what? Hold on for a second. Let me go talk to her real quick. Or better yet, you tell her to go talk to the girl. Bring me that girl back. That's game. Okay, anything other than that is not fucking game. I mean, I'm just telling you this, and I've been around for a long time. What I hear these guys tell you is game. It's not fucking game. It is not game at all. All right, they're making that shit up on the fly as they go, and then they don't even describe what they're doing. They just say, "Well, what works is game." Okay, describe it. Describe what the fuck you're talking about. Okay, and they never describe it. It's kind of like religion. They can never describe it. Well, I believe it, so it's real. All right, okay, never mind. All right, moving along. But most of these guys ain't got no goddamn game. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They'll freeze up. Look, they got game against normal women. Let them find a very attractive woman. They will run to the hills. They will run for the hills. They inevitably never be macking up attractive women. All right, anyway. Let's see here. Okay, what are we doing here? Shout out to our brother. It is Ohenji. He says, Coach, been following 6 October. Your message has helped me out of a 2-year funk. My 17 years, as a matter of fact. My 17-year-old marriage has been dead for at least 6 years, but you helped me come to terms with it. I'm now working towards being a free agent by 2026. It's boss up 2025. The goal is make an extra 40 to 50K by December 31st. Shout out to you. And it sounds like you're still married. So a 17-year marriage, the last 6 has been dead as a doorknob. We try to instruct young men that that's going to be the case when you get married, dead as a doorknob. All right. So you will be in a marriage that is sexless and dead, going nowhere. She's not going to pull the trigger until she does. So good luck to you in that one. I appreciate you listening to me. We do have a very, very mixed group of men that are listening to me. We have single men. We got virgins. We have MGTOWs. We have red pills. We got purple pill guys. We have married guys that are happy in their marriage. We have women watching us. We also have people that are in dead marriages. Okay. We got a variety of people that watch this show for, they want to take something from our philosophy. We have young men, Gen Zs, that are trying to figure out their direction in life, and they're getting conflicting information. Run games, spin plates. All right. Or they're hearing me saying, "No, get your life up. All right, level up out in this motherfucker." And you will also hear people say, "No, don't level up because it doesn't work." And I will inevitably say, have you ever leveled up and it didn't work? Okay. This is my thing about this space, because people are giving you information and advice with no experience as to what to avoid. So I've been a player. I've had rotations. I've run game. I've done all of that shit. Dated multiple women, been married, divorced, have kids, live life without kids, been through the family court. Like, they're telling you to do shit and ain't done it. Ain't spun one fucking plate in 25 to 30 years and telling you to spin some goddamn plate. Okay. Sell a dream. Right. And every time they sell a fucking dream, it ends. And I'm like, okay, my point is this to the people here. If you're going to sell a girl a dream, you're going to sell the dream for what purposes? To get laid. Okay. So you're doing all of this work to get laid. Is it to keep the girl or to pump and dump her? Because once we answer these questions, you will find that these niggas are paying for pussy at the end of the day.
Acknowledge me.
They end up tying themselves into a fucking knot. The woman leaves and she leaves disgruntled. Now you got a trail of tears and you end up going, could I have done this better? Could I clean this up just a little bit? Okay, we don't use this. I don't like when women manipulate me, so I certainly wouldn't tell you to manipulate women in the point of lying to her. So the only way you can get ass is lying to women. Okay, yeah, that's going to work out for you. This is going to work out fantastic. You're going to realize real fast, selling women a dream is not worth it. Okay, one bitch, he says, if you're lying, then it's not game. Tell them. See, this is my argument. If you look, shout out to C Hutch. If you're lying, then it's not game. I agree. If you're lying, you're not running game. Remember, right now I told you, you got one woman on your lap. You tell her to go get the other. Hey, go get her for me and bring her. She's going to be in my rotation. We're going to spin plates with her. That's game. But if you got to lie to the woman and be like, wait for her to look the other way and then go get the other woman and then tell her that you don't got a girlfriend when you do, that's not game. This is facts. That's not game. It is not game. You're just a slimy cheater. Not only you're a slimy cheater, you're a liar and you're a sneaky asshole. So that's not game, guys. Young guys, please listen to me. Do not listen to these guys. That is not game when you got to lie and connive and sell bitches a dream. This is not game. That's a sneaky beta male to me. Okay, if you tell her straight up, nah, they're going to be other women and they're going to be other women in your face and you're going to like it and you're going to deal with it. All right, that's game. All right, anyway. All right, anyway, bruh. Anyway, these people, man, don't let these young brothers with no experience fool you. And by the way, I'm one of the only person that can describe game. Most of these guys can't do it. They can't describe what they're running. They'll literally just say they're running it. I'm literally here telling you what it is. All right. And they're not going to agree. No, that ain't it. Okay. What is it? Muscles and money and muscles and these niggas is so goofy, bro. All right. Anyway. Shout out to our brother Face Fact says the community has two problems, black women and the mother raised male. He says, I don't want to hear nothing if it's not a solution to that. SYSBM. Yes, unless you have a solution to the single mother raised male, which there's a lot of them, or you have a solution to where how you're going to deal with black women. All right. And you're going to put them in their fucking place. I don't want to hear anything about the community. Community's dead to me. Undertaker Bell. All right. It's absolutely dead, and it's not even worth saving. All right, shout out to Paul, says, enjoy your holiday. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, and I will. The Dark Side Foundation, happy Tuesday, coach. Hope you're having a good trip. And he says right here, today I got news. The engineer doctor and one of the managers got let go at my job. They were reluctant to approve AI initiatives that we propose. I wonder if that's why. He says, y'all better boss up. The engineer doctor and one of the managers, they don't want to pull AI up. And it was like, well, there's only one fucking place you're about to go. You're about to go get another job. AI is the future. Damn, we got some other brothers in here. Lots of people contributing here at the last few moments, but I appreciate y'all for being here. Let's acknowledge Kaylin and KP and H every day. Kaylin first says, what's up, coach? A woman will say she doesn't want a man to cheat on her, but does she become the object of his sexual desire? Does she dress sexily for her man when he gets home? Will she let him hit it whenever he wants? The answer to all these is a resounding no. With women, their actions never match their words. Being monogamous to them has shown not to be worth it. And I agree with that 100%. Monogamy for her is basically controlling when you have sex. That's what it boils down to. She controls who and when you have sex with. Now, the problem with that is you're also doing abundance of provision and security. So you're going above and beyond. You're basically doing 70%, 30%, maybe 80%, 20%. And you're giving up the opportunity to tell, yourself when you're going to have sex and satisfaction. It's depending on her mood. Initially, she's going to cooperate. But we also know that eventually she'll be non-cooperative, or she'll say she doesn't feel like it, or have a headache, or she'll give you pity or duty sex. So the burden of performance decreases. And then you're getting lucky in your own household, which I will never participate in. I will never give a woman that benefit of the doubt. And I tell them that initially, so they know this. Listen, you're never going to control access to vagina to me. Okay, now you can control it for another guy, but you're never going to make me feel guilty for getting vagina over here or over here. I'm doing me. Now, if you want that, you're going to have to give up a hell of a lot of what you're getting from me. So you're not just going to get the house and the car and the kids and monogamy at the same time, because I just can't ill afford it. By the way, I've been married before, and no disrespect. No disrespect to, people, my ex-wife or anything like that. She was just a regular woman, a normie. doing what normie wives do. Okay, you may be upset, no pussy for you. No, not me, bro. Okay, but women think they could do that to you. All right, I'm gonna just restrict it for you or make you chase me for it. No. All right, I'm gonna make you earn it. Show me. No. That's what normies do when they say monogamy is okay, but then they want to make you earn pussy along the marriage. Like, no, I'm not earning vagina. I've already earned vagina. I'm a motherfucking masters of the universe. All right, what is the guy who says masters of the universe? It's either Obsidian or Rom Wills. I'm master of the fucking universe. I walk outside. I'm a killer. I'm a gorilla. I'm a Godzilla. Like, I've earned all the pussy I can get right now. I'm not going to beg you for pussy after coming out and being gorilla and a killer and a Godzilla. I won life. I'm the winner in life. I'm life's winner. I'm one of the 10% of the winners out here. I'm a fucking winner. Now I got to beg you for pussy. Now I got to make you feel good to open your legs. I think not. Right? No way. Fucking no way. I ain't going to be out here killing the world out here and slaying dragons and come back, my fair maiden. Perhaps you spread your legs and open your flower like a fucking blooming rose. I don't think so. No, thank you. Not interested. Masters of the fucking universe. And H Everyday says, Coach, oh, I already got that one right here. And so I'm going to acknowledge someone else. Not I, ma'am. And ladies, I know y'all think, well, I wouldn't do that. Okay, hold on for a second. I got a sound effect for you. This is the sound effect for I wouldn't do that.
Shut your bitch ass up.
All right, anyway. Shout out to our brother. It's KP. He says, he says, Coach Guru Adams, firstly, I subbed to my little bro Brooklyn. And he says, secondly, you are the greatest and the wisest. Coach, you surpassed Patrice O'Neal in philosophy by showing men pay no matter what, and that there is no positive ROI on girls. So get what you want, guys. He says, I'm 26. I'll wait and get my bag up to B with an 8 rather than to chase 6s. He says, please, young men like me need you the most. Please never stop. He says, imagine if a younger version of you had the current something in your ear, the current me in my ear. He says, I will follow you wherever. He says, I love you. He says, you're first and foremost favorite Gen Z forever. Shout out to you. He calls me Coach Guru Adams. And here's the funny thing about it. And this may surprise you. A lot of the things that I say today, I actually thought before marriage. All right. So now this is a lesson for you guys. So this is why people, when they say you're bitter and hurt because your marriage or some girl broke your heart, of course, I got exposed to a lot of truth after the fact. All right. After my breakup, and then certainly after my divorce. But it wasn't that. I actually had a lot of these philosophies during my marriage, which does indicate why my marriage was not successful, because it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. I knew what I was getting into. I talked about this. You know, I was a person that when people found out I got married, they were shocked. Like, they were blown away, because I was talking like this prior to marriage. I wasn't talking completely like this. I didn't have everything figured out, but I was talking from the position of, oh man, this is a risky proposition. Why would a guy do this? So people who knew me, and I got married around age, I want to say 27 or 28. People that knew me before that, when they found out, they was like, damn, what? Dude, I had one of my basketball players, when I announced my divorce on Facebook, this basketball player who I believe had a crush on me back in the day, but it was a college player that I coached. And she said, and I quote, I knew you would get divorced because marriage never suited you. Okay. It never suited you. She was like, this is a no-brainer. Okay. She was like, you had no business getting married in the first place. Now, I did produce 2 wonderful children out of this. So, but she was like, marriage never suited you. This is not a surprise. So that's where she was there. But she wasn't the only one that said that. A lot of people were like, I was surprised you even was able to pull it off that long. All right. But with that being said, they knew how I felt before going into it. Now, I got to the point where I wanted children. And I said, I will not have children out of wedlock. All right. So that was my one thing about getting married. I didn't want children out of wedlock. So I couldn't I couldn't see myself as a baby daddy. Now, I eventually became a deadbeat daddy through divorce. All right. But, you know, it's one of these things as a young black man that people find that when I say I have 2 kids, they'll say by the same mother. So the stereotype is that you're just out here creating babies willy-nilly with women that you're not committed to or married to. And I said I would never do that. Yes, my children are by the same women and they were produced in a marriage. Okay. Now what happens after that, I can't control because that's the marriage will. But yes, they were in the context of a marriage. I've never been a baby daddy. I've never been out here making kids out of wedlock. As much as you might say, hey, CGA, you don't have morals. I certainly do. I have way more morals than you motherfucking lukewarm Christians. And you guys telling me that I'm amoral or amoral. Okay, I live a very moral life. Okay. But yes, I'm a deadbeat daddy legally. All right, but I'm not a deadbeat dad. I take care of my kids. I took care of them from the beginning. I raised them from 0 to teenage years. I mean, except for I was alienated from them from periods of time. But anyway, with that being said, yes, this is not new to me. This is why I speak so good and well about these situations, because I knew them before marriage. But that's neither here nor there. Let me get back to this portion of the show. It's Crime and Law CGA. So let me see if I got a banner for that. I do. Let's jump into this one. Crime and Law CGA. It is for the brother Jonathan Majors. All right. Apparently there's some audio that makes Jonathan Majors not look so well here. And you guys know his situation. He had the greatest run from a white woman in the history of the world. And it basically sabotaged his career he got with that white woman. Yeah, where the white women at? So the white woman's name is Grace Jabari. And he lost basically hundreds of millions of dollars and basically had to get a relationship with that fine-ass black woman. I can't remember her name at the moment. You know who I'm talking about. Supposedly, you know, simp moment for him. Through the fire. You know that fine-ass black woman. I can't think of her name. But Megan Good is her name, by the way. I would fold her ass up like a love letter from the 2nd grade. Megan Good, come on over here. But apparently Megan Good had been taking care of this guy because, you know, he had expenses that he thought he was going to be making hundreds of millions of dollars, but it didn't work out. Well, he had a situation. The woman said she bonked her head and she hurt her finger, you know, and took him to court and drug his ass and said she was an abusive victim. He was abusive. And a lot of us defended him like, this bitch lying. I mean, how are you abused, but you're chasing him down the street in high heels? This is crazy. This is crazy. But apparently an update on this story, allegedly from the news media here, as Jonathan Majors is getting his life back in order after saying that he got third degree abusive. People were saying that he was a gorilla killer Godzilla. They said he was abusing women. They were saying that. However, it gets worse for him. In an apparent unearthed video reported by the Rolling Stones magazine. I should give them the New World Order right there while we're at it right here. Let's give them the New World Order. New World Order. Okay. It says Jonathan Majors admits to strangling ex-girlfriend in a newly unearthed video. Damn. All right, if you're a Jonathan Majors fan, this is not a good look, sir. Let's see what we got here. The actor is heard admitting to having aggressed Grace Jabari during a fight in 2022. And there he is right there. He always looked like, you know, this guy looks like an escaped slave. All right, shout out to him if he listens to me. All right, and this is new reported here. This is March 17, 2025. This is yesterday reported. So this is new information for people who want to know. Jonathan Majors admitted to strangling an ex-girlfriend in the previous unreleased audio recording obtained by Rolling Stones magazine. The conversation was captured in the aftermath of days-long fight between Majors and his then-girlfriend, professional dancer Grace Jabari, in September of 2022. The Marvel actor had been living with Jabari in London, okay, as he filmed the 2nd season of Disney's Loki, when he allegedly became angry at Jabari. All right. And so this is a thing where dudes will say they have game, but they also are controlling the woman. Like, listen, if you have to control the woman in her behavior, you have no motherfucking game. If you have to worry about what she's doing and arguing with her, your game is debunked. You got no game, bro. You got no game. If you're arguing with her, if you're fighting whether she goes to girl nights out, you got zero game. All right, but let's continue here. And okay, I'm sorry. Where is it at? Oh, here it is right here. It says right here, according to a since-settled civil lawsuit filed by Jabari last April, she alleges that Major slammed her into a car, dragged her back inside their home, and strangled her. Of course, the unearthed audio tape captures Jabari confronting Majors about the alleged attack in the following days. And these are the quotes from the video. And this it says, from Majors, I'm ashamed I've ever, pause, before cutting himself off. I've never been aggressive with a woman before. I've never aggressed a woman. I aggressed you. Okay, let me stop right here, Jonathan Majors. I can see the tears coming from your eyes. This is some shit that he would say. This sounds like some plantation language he would say right here. Okay, I've aggressed you. Okay, I wonder, I guess they had a fight. Now, if I get that neck and we're having sex, that's not strangulation. All right. So I've aggressed you. According to the remainder of the article here, I think there's some back and forth. Jabari says, of course, she's recording him. As I told you, Negroes, these women will keep receipts on you. She said, you strangled me and pushed me against the car. She interjects. He says, yes, all of those things are under arrest. Yeah, Major responds. That's never happened to me. Right? That's never happened to me. I think he means that never happened to me before. Because I said something sarcastically in your eyes, according to Grace Jabari, with some passive-aggressive white woman manipulation there. Because I said something sarcastic. So that means she has a smart mouth. And she's admitted to she has a smart mouth. And then Major says, well, clearly it's more than that. She says something inside of you, Jabari says, yes, towards you, Major agrees before the recording ends. All right, there it is right there. Both attorneys and agents, okay, they want me to do something here. For Majors could not respond immediately. Let me take this off the screen. And they did not respond to this. An attorney for Jabari declined to comment. Some of the details of the dispute previously emerged during Major's criminal trial. That's in late 2023, where he was found guilty of reckless assault in the third degree and harassment following a different fight. This is a different fight that took place in New York. So remember, there's a London fight. There's a New York fight. So the fight that they're talking about was in London. The fight that we know about was in New York. All right. So there, for people that are saying she lying, well, first of all, there's a recording. All right. So no need to defend Jonathan Majors at that point. But he's also admitting that she said something and he popped off on her. So we know that sometimes domestic violence does start that way. She gets a little smart mouth and you can't take it anymore. But this does show that you don't know how to handle your women. Okay. And all of us have been there. So there's two separate fights. In the second fight, he was arrested in March of 2023 for allegedly attacking Jabari, apparently not for the first time, who suffered a fractured finger and a cut on the back of her head, bonked my head, and broke my finger. All right, that's terrible. Majors claimed that Jabari was the aggressor in that incident. Well, we know that to be true because we saw it on video. He was acquitted of two more serious charges, which was intentional assault and aggravated harassment. Interesting here. Who leaked this video? Right? Who leaked this audio? And what reason did they do to leak this audio? Could it possibly be Grace Jabari leaking this audio? Do they have a civil case going on in this matter? Potentially. Is this her Grace basically saying, hey, I see you with Megan Good. I don't know who Grace Jabari is. Could have been her people to say, hey, you thought you were going to get away with this, but boy, do I have another bomb to drop on you. I got another bomb to drop on you. You thought it was over, didn't you? All right. And she said, it ain't over out here.
Gotcha, bitch.
She said, I got more receipts for you. And so he's admitting this, guys. I don't understand why you guys feel like you need to have conversations with women. But as an elder statesman, let me tell you, man, You know, if you admit something to a woman, you almost inevitably will know that it's being recorded, or she's going to record this somewhere in her notes, her diary, or someone else is going to overhear it. So she bakes you into a conversation. She wants an explanation as to why you did something, and then you admit to it. You know, I'm sorry. Through the fire. You didn't take, but you didn't been with me for far too long. You didn't ninja. Okay. Screenshots of conversations, bruh. Stop answering these. Hey, guys, you don't owe women answers. The right hand don't know what need to know what the left hand's doing, man. Just be like, look, man, we'll handle that shit when we need to handle it. Get her ass in a motherfucking crowded restaurant with ambulances all running through the city, and then tell her, take her on a bike ride, nigga. Take her on a bike ride. Ninja out here confessing they sins to women. And ladies, you too. All right, but you need to tell CGA the truth. Out here, you goof ass women out here, man. Shout out to Jonathan Majors. This is not a good look. This does look like he was on the horizon. Didn't he get hired back from Disney? All right, did he get? Yeah, take her on a mountain trail. Just be out there in the wilderness, nigga. Don't be out here having tea or when you're around here. When you confess, I've aggressed you to the fire. What the fuck is wrong with you, nigga? This ain't no goddamn confessional. Unbelievable. All right, didn't he just get hired back from Disney? Grace Jabari said, I don't think so.
Gotcha, bitch.
All right, you didn't been through me through the fire for far too long. You did so much for me, ass nigga. You did so much for me through the fire. All right, goodness. He about to lose all his extra money. This nigga about to be broke. All right, man. Main event coming up, and we'll do the rest of the super chats because we're getting close. We got the main event. All right, let me see here. Let me get my banners right real quick. Hold up for a second. Let's do this right. I have to do it live. All right, I have to do it live. Why women divorce good men through the fire? Hey, man, you know, it's hard. It's hard sometimes as men. We'd be defending these guys. And people try to tell us they trying to throw shade on the black man. Shame on the nigga that tried to turn game on the nigga or run game on the nigga. Hey, man, men run game on men all the time. All right. Anyway, main event. Woman divorces good man. All right. So what do we learn about this situation? This is the marriage wheel. Let's go ahead and introduce it to a lot of people who don't know. This is the originator of a lot of thought in this space. The marriage wheel, but I'm controversial figure, so people distance themselves from me and they don't never want to admit they be watching your boy old CGA. But this is the marriage wheel, and the marriage wheel basically says that all relationships are pretty predictable at this point. You're going to have a connection phase, which is the upper right. Then you're going to have in the middle right side, the investment phase. This is where most everybody intends for the relationship to go, and then happily ever after these 2 points. But all right, listen, that's not how it goes. There's real life that happens, and then there's a bait and switch, right? People get older, they grow apart, they cheat, they have affairs, sexist marriage, the realities of it, bill paying, fighting over money, people get bored, people change, people get drug habit, or you never know what happens. So that will occur, and people don't anticipate it to occur. We're just going to be happy. We've never been in an argument. Hey, nothing is a bigger red flag than a person that says they have not been in an argument with their current girlfriend or spouse. This got to be the biggest red flag. All right, because I already know that you're going to argue, my G. This is not good avoiding arguments. All right, well, we just know how to compromise. Then there's going to be an argument where there's not going to be any compromise. Now what are you going to do? Because everybody wants to keep everybody happy right now. I'm going to just keep everybody happy, and I'm going to just go around and I'll compromise, and I'll give a little and take a little and give a little and take a little. Just wait until there's that one argument, and there will be. It's guaranteed. I mean, listen, I don't care if you have a spouse, you live with a relative. I don't care if you live with a roommate. I don't care if you live in a barrack. I don't care where the fuck you live. If you live with a person, you're going to have a knockdown, drag out fight. You're going to have one. Your ass about to have one, and you better figure out what your ass gonna do with it. What you gonna do with it, bruh? Because when When it shows up, if you don't know how to handle it and you think, well, I'm gonna just, walk on eggshells, you're gonna be fucked up out here. All right. So anyway, we often are told that in relationships that the relationship ends because someone did something to someone else. This is a misnomer. It's not always true, but it could be true. Someone did something, so it caused a divorce. You didn't do what you were supposed to do as a man, and it led to the divorce. The woman wasn't doing what she was supposed to do as a woman, and it led to the divorce. This could be true, but it is not always true. What we find is that on in our side, and we don't have a percentage, but we have terminology for this. What happens is it is the woman that loses her interest in the monogamous sex or relationship before the man. It is shown that the man is way more in love with the woman. We've actually showed you data related to this. Although women will tell us, nah, we are told that the man was abusive, but the woman was abusive, or the woman was the instigator to the abuse. So we have all of these things that we all settle for. Oh, what happened in your marriage? Why y'all get divorced? Well, he cheated on me. All right, that's immediately what we're going to hear. Or he was abusive, or what else? He was controlling and insecure. And we go, oh, yeah, that'll do it. But what of the men that are the good men and they get blindsided by divorce? Not everybody's perfect, but there are good men that get divorced all the time. In fact, these are the men that pay the biggest penalties in the family court. It is not the bad guys. Those guys get the domestic violation court, which is part of the family court. Those guys get domestic violation. They'll get, 89 hours of anger management, and then they'll go on and ruin another woman's life. And they'll ruin many women's lives, and they'll go unpenalized. Most of the time, these men work off paper. They don't make any money on paper, so they can't get dragged to the family court or the child support court, because they're basically, it's worthless to drag them through. And sometimes if the guy's so bad or toxic, the woman will take the kids away to protect the kids away from that guy. He has a drug problem, a gambling problem, and that guy knows it. He just cuts the check. He don't even fight for custody. He'd be like, oh yeah, here. She can't even find him to serve the guy. So those guys typically go no penalty. Okay, the woman just says, hey, he has a gambling addiction. He's a bad guy. I'm taking the kids. And he normally says, yep, I'll be out here with strippers and coke and gambling. He doesn't fight it. The guys who get dragged through the family court are the guys that want to see their kids, that don't know why they're getting divorced, that want to fight to hold on and preserve whatever he can. So the woman uses that system, and he responds to every lawsuit. He responds to every court appearance. He responds to every PTA. He's trying to fight for his life. These are normally the good guys. These aren't the bad guys that had an alcohol problem but is fighting for custody. It's normally the dad going, damn, she done took the kids and I can't see them. I got to fight for custody. Okay, now, since we know that men who get divorced are not always bad, most likely they're not bad at all. There's got to be another reason why they're divorcing. Why are these men getting divorced? Why are these men getting raked over the coals? Why are they getting dragged through the family court? Why? Well, we have a phrase called, I'm not happy. We have a phrase called, she wants to go back to the streets. We have a phrase that we commonly hear where the woman says, I gave up my younger years. Now I want to go back outside and get my better years. Okay, my years are dwindling. I want a monkey branch. I want to see if there's a better option for me. These are normally good men who are victimized by this. Normally a guy that became a stepdad, and then she takes the kids from him and makes him pay child support on the kid that's not even his, but he stepped up. Why do these men get divorced? These are the men no one wants to talk about. You must have did something to her. Okay, this woman's going to explain it right here. And we're going to pull her up. And yes, it's a white woman. Okay, so let's see if we can get it right here. This woman says here, I thought women didn't leave good men. We thought they didn't. If men were just good, we would never leave. This is false. Women leave good women. Women leave good men all the time. Why? Because discipline shows up. He wants the woman to have order. He wants her to make a decision. You're going to be a career woman or a stay-at-home mom. I'm going to be both. Okay, bitch. See, good men don't deal with all of this kind of this gray area where women want to manipulate. where she starts off a stay-at-home mom, then she wants to focus on her career. She starts off a traditional mom, then she wants to go out in the streets. Then when the streets don't work, she wants to come back and be traditional. Good men want they don't want chaos. They want to have a plan. They want to stick to the plan. They want to lead. They want to have a direction. When a woman says, I want to lead too, they can't deal with it. Okay. Somebody keeps talking about the banner. That banner doesn't change. I'm on StreamYard, so you have to deal with the scrolling banner downstairs. All right, so here we go right here. This woman says, it says, a woman shares her divorce story. The ending will shock you. It ain't going to shock me. This is what I've been warning you about, Coach. There's good women out here, but good women divorce good men all the time. Take it from here, Pale Girl.
It's been about a year and a half wondering if I should get a divorce. The hardest question you will ever have to ask yourself is, do you want to make it work? Personally, the yearn for freedom was stronger than my yearn to make it work. My ex-husband was such a great man, which is what tortured me with my decision. But all I know is I just felt this yearning to explore myself without him. And I felt like where I was going in my life, he wasn't able to go with me. And this was a journey that I had to walk alone. But that period when I was unsure of what to do or if I should leave was agonizing. I was tortured. I was unwell. I was sick. I was scared. I was self-destructive. I had one foot in one life and one foot in another life. And I just was like walking back and forth trying to figure it out. Once you make a decision of what you're going to do, you can finally move. But until then, you are just stuck. I ended up cheating at the very end of my marriage because I did not want to disappoint him. I didn't know how to break his heart. And I just butchered the job.
Already broken.
I spent about a year and a half wondering if I should get a divorce.
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too.
The free agent lifestyle and the marriage will is undefeated. The free agent lifestyle and the marriage will is undefeated. I'm gonna just let you guys know. You never gonna, hey, you never beating the free agent lifestyle. Let me take this banner down. You're never beating the marriage will. All right, you're never beating it, bruh. I've been trying to tell y'all that for years and years and years. It's undefeated. Now, this woman can easily get divorced just like that. Guys, you know how many marriages end like this where the woman was like, I just wanted to be back in the streets. That's what she said. I've been planning for a year and a half. And yes, you fucked your wife and she was thinking of divorcing you. Yeah, I've been trying to tell y'all niggas, y'all don't want to hear me. Yep. Somebody said 550 days planning to divorce your ass, still fucking you, still giving you sex reluctantly, plotting and plotting. Nobody talks about this. For some reason, y'all don't believe me. For some reason, you think I'm making this shit up. I've experienced this. Just plotting and plotting on you, praying for your downfall, sleeping with your enemy, sleeping with the enemy. You're literally, this is the person that's the biggest hater, going to be the biggest hater in your fucking life, sleeping in your bed. And you're all vulnerable. You got your back. You're showing her your back. You vulnerable. You sleeping. You think this woman is looking out for your best interest. Meanwhile, she done left the sliding door open on the patio, waiting for a nigga to walk in and smoke your ass. You know she thought about it, but she was like, that's going to be too bloody. Come on, man. See, what happens is we often assume it's the man's fault. It's Jermaine's fault. But we do have to understand that it's as extreme as I am. I'm trying to put y'all up on game. It could be as simple as that. It could be as simple as that. She was just like, I wanted my freedom. Remember, that was the question. What did she want more than anything? She wanted her freedom. And she said, I could not take this man into my new life of freedom. Well, I get it. Listen, I'm the same way. But we have to stop this idea that when you leap out of the relationship, you got to make him the abusive person. He was abusive. He was controlling, a narcissist. But this was also her thinking. I wanted to be free. I wanted a new life. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Eat, pray, love. Well, go do that. But leave the kids here. Leave my house here. And leave 3/4 of my income with me. If that's what you want to do, go do it. They never do that. They do everything but leave. They do everything but leave. But now they got to go in here and portray you to be the abuser. And then now you got to go to court. And now you getting divorced. And now your kids live out of a backpack because this bitch wanted freedom. Well, go and leave us alone. They don't do that. Because here's the reason why. They got to be seen as the victim. They got to be seen as the victim because it makes them still a viable candidate to get a better or another support system. They never think this is going to happen. People don't think this is going to happen. Women don't think they're going to do this. But they only are going to know until when they get married. When they get married and that freedom goes away, then they're going to realize, oh, I got to listen to this guy every day and I don't agree with him. And then when they get behind those closed doors and behind that motherfucking prison wall and behind that belly of the beast called the marriage, then they out here thoughting and plotting and looking for a rescue mission and shit and an intervention. Then they tell everybody else but him. Then when she pulls the ripcord, then guess what? He finds out. Not until she pulls the ripcord that she was stopped and plotting. Her mother knew, her relatives knew, her cousins knew, her in-law, her brothers knew, her sisters knew. Okay. Her friends knew, the people at the school knew, everybody knew but your ass that she was thinking of a divorce. Now, when the divorce happens, she's going to be like, think about the kids. And why are you doing this? Because you're going to put up a fight. Because what good men do is they fight. They go, what is this? They fight for the marriage. They fight to stay in the kid's life. They fight to keep the home. The good men fight back. The bad guys or the abusers, they don't fight back. Look at Jonathan Majors. He hasn't fought back yet. They had to drag his ass in the court with slaves, shackles, and chains. They had to drag his ass in court. He ain't fighting one fucking bit because apparently he was the one strangling her. Okay? But when it comes to the other people out here, the bad guys, they don't fight. They basically move on. They don't fight. They become deadbeats. They like, I don't give a fuck. But the good men end up going, I don't get it. What are we doing? And she on some petty shit that she been thoughting and plotting for a year and a half. I'm going to play this again just so you can hear it. So you don't think I'm making this shit up. Over the years I've been trying to provide with this information. You better listen to what I'm telling you. The woman saying, and there's some women agreeing with me right here. I don't know why women do this. You ladies are way too quiet in this game of love because you will watch women do this and not call them out on their bullshit. There's blood on your hands too. You are a full active participant in it, whether you do it to someone or not. Okay. If you're not out here pushing this particular agenda to help men in this situation and help them to understand what's going on, you have blood on your hands too. But if you're a woman that says, I would never do this, you can kiss my whole entire ass. You don't know what the fuck you're going to do until you're doing it. Okay. So I don't believe women be like, I would never do this. This is like Lucy and Charlie Brown with the football. All right. I don't know why she keep doing that. I don't know. They don't even know why they do shit. And notice this. She kept saying, I felt, I feel, I felt, I feel. They're loyal to their feelings. So everything we teach here is 100% the God's honest truth. She was loyal to her feelings. She felt a certain way. And she pulled the ripcord on a legal marriage to a good man that did absolutely nothing wrong. Let me go back here and play this video. Okay, so the last point, being a good man doesn't save you from getting divorced. Okay, this is the message I want to tell you. And marrying a good woman who is a good woman for that moment doesn't protect you from getting a divorce. You need to find the right one and someone who likes you. Okay, explain this. Explain this. This woman liked this guy. He married her, and then she changed her fucking mind a year and a half prior to pulling the ripcord. So this whole thing about marrying someone that likes you and getting someone that really likes you and having her spending money as an indicator that she likes you, it don't prove shit. That doesn't mean a relationship is about to go to long term. It might last longer than other relationships, but it doesn't prove that it's going to make it last. Like, you literally have to be lucky to make a marriage work. You need to be straight up lucky. It's 100% luck that they both just, worked out together. And tell me that you're rich at the end of this. Probably not. You're both probably fat at the end of this. But let's listen to her one more time, just so you can hear the mental gymnastics of a woman saying, yep, I fucked everything up. And why?
I spent about a year and a half wondering if I should get a divorce. The hardest question you will ever have to ask yourself is, do you want to make it work? Personally, the yearn for freedom was stronger than my yearn to make it work. My ex-husband was such a great man, which is what tortured me with.
Okay, so that was the answer. My yearning for freedom was more important than my yearning to make it work. So when you're trying to be like, baby, I want to make it work, dude, just let her go. Let her go. Because she's already set in her ways. I want to be free. Dude, when you have a caged bird and the bird just hell bent on being free, let it go. Because they're going to ruin everything. It's going to be a bull in a china shop. And I had a good husband and he was trying to work it out. But, you know, my yearning to be free was way more important than working it out with him. Tortured. It tortured me. I wanted to get away from this, but I didn't know a way out. Okay, you could just leave and leave the kids in the house with the husband. Nope, can't do that. That's not an option. So I can kill him. I can drag him through the courts. I can manipulate him and gaslight him. I can make him eat a bullet. Anything but me leaving. Right? I'll torture myself. I'll torture him. We'll go through marriage counseling. We'll waste tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars. But me leaving empty-handed, not gonna happen. Not gonna fucking happen. And guess what? She'll be the girls' nights out. She'll do all these things. And you'll be like, okay, well, I guess it's 50-50 custody. And she'll say, no, I primarily raised the kids, so I should have the majority custody. I'm like, bitch, I thought you wanted to be out in these streets and partying. Right? I thought you was gonna focus on your career. All right, now you're a traditional stay-at-home mom. Now that the custody's being diced out, now she wants to be now she want to be super mom. I thought you wanted to work late at night. I thought you wanted to work and go pursue your education and your career. I thought you wanted to be at the nightclub and partying. See, that's why we got divorced. But now you're super mom in the custody battle, right, bitch? Are you crazy? All right, but now you want to be. I'm a traditional stay-at-home mom for the last 5 years. Now all of a sudden you're gonna count custody hours and shit. All right, here we go.
My decision. But all I know is I just felt this yearning to explore myself without him. And
let me stop it right there. I felt this yearning. I felt this yearning to want to explore myself without him. Brothers, if you guys don't listen to me, you don't realize how easily this can happen to you. I didn't hear that he beat her up, yelled, screamed, cheated, stole money. He had a vice. I didn't hear anything. He was a good husband, but I wanted to be free. And it could not include him. He's not a part of this. I felt like I couldn't be free with him. Of course you can't, because you're married to him. There's no more freedom. You either choose freedom or marriage. You either choose freedom or handcuffs. That's what marriage is. And she said, my life. You don't have a life. It's your life. It's y'all's life. So yeah, she want to sister eat, pray, love. I'm gonna find myself. Now here's the thing. Here's where I tell you this. This woman looks like she's in her mid-30s, going to her 40s. This is typical age where you see them crack out. All right, you got. Let me see here. You see them crack out. So normally this is where it's going to happen at this age. The child, all the children are been had. All right, there's no more children coming forward. She probably got her tube side. You probably got a vasectomy like a dumbass, thinking that you're done. My wife told me we're done having kids, and you fucking got a vasectomy. 10 months later, or what, a year and a half later, she divorcing your goof ass. Okay. And now she wants to go out and find a better version of you. But she wants to ride that cock carousel and get back blown out. And she wants BDSM and 50 Shades of Greg. She wants fun. She wants to go outside. And guess what? We got to destroy what we had. And it wasn't your fault, but I'm going to make it your fault. I was loyal to my feelings. And I felt that my freedom did not include him. We weren't going to have that same life.
I felt like where I was going in my life, he wasn't able to go with me. And this was a journey that I had to walk alone. But that period when I was unsure of what to do or if I should leave was agonizing.
That period was agonizing. Let's go back and tell you, quantify it. It was a year and a half. The period of a year and a half, there were arguments, fights, gaslighting, manipulation, sexless marriage, duty sex, pity sex, no dick sucks. All right. Knock down, drag out arguments, silent treatment, her disappearing for weekends, new boyfriends, affairs. She admits to this. Affairs. And all the while, the dude was trying to figure it out. The dude trying to figure out now what happens. And they was like, well, you weren't hitting it right. You must not have been hitting it right. All right. It must be your fault. You can't keep a woman. Can't keep her on your program. Better tighten up. And meanwhile, it's her. She got her own journey, her own plan, thoughting and plotting. And people can't say, well, you don't know she was thoughting. She admits to an affair. So the affair came because she couldn't be straight up. She couldn't tell him after a year and a half, I was thinking of just pulling the trigger on you in a variety of ways. Then it was agonizing. Why? Because she was faking it. That's what she wasn't being a real authentic woman. She was faking who she was. I feel like I'm faking myself. I'm not who I really want to be. I lost myself in this relationship. Right, guys. And then they go into court talking about irreconcilable differences. Meanwhile, she been getting meat between her legs. Okay, that's what it is. She wanted to be out in these streets.
I was tortured. I was unwell. I was sick. I was scared. I was self-destructive. I had one foot in one life and one foot in another life. And I just was like walking back and forth.
I was going back and forth from single to married. 1 foot in one life, 1 foot in the other. I was in the streets and a stay-at-home mom. I was in the streets and a wonderful mom. I was in career world and I was also in stay-at-home mom. I was in married life. And it was agonizing. So she was sick. She was depressed. She thought about deleting herself. She probably threatened, I want to delete myself. And the answer was she wanted to be back in the fucking streets. That's the answer. Go back to the streets. But here's the problem. If you go back to the streets, leave everything here. Leave your kids, leave your past life, leave our belongings, leave our life intact. You go fucking out there. That's the one thing they can't do in this entire equation. They can't do that part. Everything else makes sense. You want to leave? Go. But leave the kids. Leave us with the house. Leave us without all this chaos. Leave us with a sense of, well, you know, your mom had to go fucking be off and go get fucked. Why don't you just leave? Leave the dog. Leave us at the good school that we go to. Leave us in the neighborhood where the kids grew up. But no, here's the problem. They're going to torpedo and torture all that. All that got to change because this bitch want to eat, pray, love. She wants to leave, but she wants some support and alimony and goddamn payment for her past use of her vagina. She wants extra child support payments. She can't just leave and say, I'm going to just go find a better life. Okay. Most men will say, take your ass on. Good. You doing me a favor. Nah. Soon as she say, I want to leave, you be like, okay, leave. And she's like, well, I'm taking the kids and half your shit and your child support and alimony. Okay, hold up. You be like, time out, bitch. You said you wanted to leave. Take your ass on. You're doing us a favor because it's going to be smooth sailing from here on out. I'm going to hire a just right age nanny and I'm going to fuck her and the kids are going to get raised. But they can't do that. They got to destroy everything because it just doesn't fit with her anymore. So destroy the shit.
Trying to figure it out. Once you make a decision of what you're going to do, you can finally move. But until then, you are just stuck. I ended up cheating at the very end of my marriage because I did not want to disappoint him. I didn't know how to break his heart. And I just butchered the job.
Man, it's a cold ass evil world out here, brothers, man. And listen, don't ever say I never told y'all any of this.
Straight Jack.
All right. Don't ever say I never told you any of these things, guys. It's that simple. I've been hurt. This happens to a lot of guys. Now, are guys perfect? No. Guys are lazy, lethargic in their relationships. But this doesn't mean they deserve to have their shit in their life ruined. You see what I mean? Just because he yelled at you, because, by the way, much of her claims about her being abused is probably going to come in at this point in her life where she was out here being confusing. And the guy just loses his mind. Man, bitch, what's wrong with you? And then she says, well, he yelled at me. He called me a bitch. He told me to jump off a bridge when I claimed that I wanted to slit my wrist. All right. And this is when the abuse comes in. So to be fair, this is when men just don't have an answer. And he's going to say shit to her. He's going to yell and scream. And there's going to be a lot of closed slam cabinets and slamming of doors. And there's going to be a lot of fights being caught. That's when the guy is, all the abuse claims are going to be at this point. And then she's going to say, well, this one day you said this, and this one day you yelled at me, and this one day you made the kids cry when you screamed at me, and this one day you called me a whore. This one day you told me to kill myself when I was going to jump off the bridge. This going to come during the year and a half of this bitch doubting and plotting. And then she's going to run out and tell the world all the evil shit that you did and said while she was causing the problem. While she was causing the problem. And then she'll tell your kids forever, he was abusive and he yelled and screamed. Bitch, you came in the house at 3, 4 in the morning after getting fucked. Of course you got yelled at. That's not abuse. It's not abuse. You were abusing me. And then I yelled at you as a result of your fucking, where she was like, here, I was out here in and out of the world. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So when you hear that a man was abusive, most likely it was not the entire time. It was to the point where she was being fucking dumb. And then he was responding to her being a dumbass. And then she gets the video of you yelling at her after she didn't gaslit the fuck out of you. But anyway, enough about that. It is at the 2-hour mark, so I got to close up shop. You know what time it is. All right. Do me a favor, hit the like button. And this will be the last stream from jolly old England. All right, you'll next catch me in Paris, France. And you know, people who are against my message, I don't even know how you could be at this point. I provided enough case motherfucking support to support my message and so forth and so on. You just want to be a dumbass. Right? It is what it is. Let me get to these support and then we'll get the fuck up out of here. I made a couple dollars while I was on the road. We got I Need Money he says right here, funny when bad women update happens, story gets buried. But funny how bad women updates happen. I'm not sure what that means, but I get it. But I don't get it. It wasn't said that well. Maybe you're from England. The English people are going to run me out of town here. So I better be careful. They know where I'm staying. Okay. Yo, all right, let me see here. Did I get face facts? The community has 2 problems. Yes, they do. And yes, they do. We got another brother that says this over here on the Cash App. He says, this is Jeff the producer. He says nothing, but I appreciate your support over there, Jeff the producer. Okay. Am I at the regular time? This is the regular time of the show. We got 2,000 people watching me here. All right. That seems to be the number YouTube allows me to get. All right. They're like, no more for you. Hassan Campbell says they playing with my numbers. YouTube is playing with my numbers. Okay, we got, we're going to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Maybe more. It is Suave Genius says free agent lifestyle in a nutshell. There is no longer a way to lock in a commitment from a woman. Feminism freed them. So free your damn self, brothers. Free yourself. All right, there's no reason to get locked in, and don't let these people get you with the morality. No, don't let them do that. Josh Finley says, appreciate your consistency, bruv. Much love. All right, they don't let them lock you in like you're doing bad out here. You're out here whoring. All right, they don't tell these skeezers they're out here whoring. Tell these skeezers, all right? They don't want to hear it. Shout out to our brother Kaleem says. He says, for the drinks, he says, it was a privilege to meet you, fellas. It's time to stop watching and start participating. This is the Free Agent Lifestyle 2.0. You have all the information. It's time to boss up my ninjas out here. And that's a sponsorship. I think I have a sponsorship sound effect for you out here. And you shouldn't sponsor me. Jesus. I'm Rizz, all right, shout out to Kaleem, man. And if you see me in a McLaren video in London, that was brother Kaleem's McLaren. All right. And I met up with him in a coaching call. It was a coaching call, but it was in person. And he let me drive the McLaren for a little bit. I will say if I damaged it or not. I won't say on the live internet. Right. But anyway, Shout out to Brother Kaleem for letting me use the McLaren. He brought it down 2 hours away from London. He came 2 hours away. He drove the McLaren down to London so he can, and he recorded the video too. So shout out to our brother. Says shout out to Kaleem, man. My man said he hit the curb. I didn't know. I won't say I hit the curb, but anyway. All right, shout out to the brother. You got a powder culture rims. Anyway.
Hey, yo, chill, son. Hey, yo.
The curb was low. I didn't realize there was a curb there. Sorry. So anyway, I tried. But shout out to Brother Kaleem there. Yeah. All right, anyway. Oh my goodness. You told me to get behind the wheel, Ninja. My insurance can't cover it. Let's see here. We got our brother. It is Tariq Walker says, I think some YNs may have just scammed me for some Rick Owens sneakers. He says, ha ha. He says, small things to a giant. And the game is the game. He says, happy to be able to support always. Coach Gang in the building. Thank you, sir. Man, damn, you got scammed. What happened, man? Did you get scammed on one of these websites, Craigslist? All right, man. Shout out to them YNs. They will mess you up. All right, my man Kaleem said it's all good. I tried. All right, but anyway. Oh, it's eBay. You got on eBay. All right, hold on for a second. We gonna give you a noise for that one right there. He got on eBay. Gotcha, bitch. All right, them brothers, man. Watch out for them YNs, man. It is our brother, Mr. By the Mile. I just saw one of your posts. He says, I absolutely love when you go in on these Mitches. It's the truth, and they need to hear it. So many men in my profession get angry with me in my comment section because they are jealous of the come up. He says that they refuse to take action. I am taking on social media to not only advance myself in life, but to put other people up on the game when it comes to union careers. Your talking points are one of my sources that I used in my vlog discussions. He says it's always fun to go in on the haters. Thank you for all that you do, for always continuing to support me in my comment section. I believe you have seen a couple of my videos where I have given you credit. I've seen your videos. And Mr. Bottom Out, you're in my, it comes up. So I do see your videos when you post them, and shout out to you for trying to, deal with the haters. The haters are something else. They just don't want to put the effort in. They just want the results, but they don't see the efforts that you put in. They're just like, oh, you got lucky. So, that you need to definitely use the haters as ammunition to show out on these. But you be careful, man. They know where you live many times. Shout out to Justin says, Coach, play the Sean Connery clip about slapping a chick. Classic. All right. When he was admitting to Barbara Walters, like, sometimes I have to, peel back my pin. All right. I'm running low on time, but I know it, man. Sometimes, a girl needs a good slapping. Out here. All right. Shout out to her, Agent 007, I tell you. Sometimes a girl needs to, when she's popping off in the lip. The other one, funny one, was Ike Turner talking about him slapping up Tina Turner, which asked Judge Joe Brown, we shouldn't feel sorry for Tina Turner. She was an instigator. But Ike Turner saying, I tell you, I be back in the limousine, and the bitch had a sour face. And I asked her, what's wrong, Tina? What's wrong, Tina? And she say nothing. She say nothing. And I say, Tina, what's wrong? And then she won't tell me what's wrong. She just have her lip hanging down like this. So I pops her in the lip. Yeah. But we know, here's the thing. When you hear them say what they did, you're like, oh, it makes sense. Now, we're not saying women should be slapped in the lip, but women do that to us now, and we can't do anything about it, right? We can't do anything about it. Like, we sit and take it, and she just, whew, and you should know how I'm feeling. You should know, just completely manipulating you, and you like, why I oughta, all right, but you can't do it now. You can't do it. You know what I mean? You're like, well, they taught me not to put a hand on a woman for anything ever. But Sean Connery and Ike Turner was like, the bitch kept pouting, and why I oughta. He didn't know terminology like we know it today. Gaslighting me. She was gaslighting me. She was abusing me. She was making me out to be the abuser, and she was abusing me. So I said, why I oughta bang zoom to the moon. All right. But that's basically what they were saying. They're gaslighting me. Shout out to our brother H every day. Shame on the ninja who tried to run game on the ninja. He says, I'm laughing my ass off, coach. He says, I'm about to take all of your funny skits and make a YouTube page. No message, just the funny shit. But all the funny skits drop messages. He says, so that plane went straight into the garbage. He says, if I'm a steal some ish, I'm a steal from the best. That Rolo ninja is talking missionary, huh? He says CGA talking doggy style, aka boss up lifestyle. Well, you only could talk about what you know. All right, he could only talk about what you know. If you only know missionary, that's all you could talk about. And how many more do we got over here? We got some other brothers here. It is our brother here. This is O Henji says, more about me. CGA's will is real. I'm 42, met my college girlfriend, married her 17 years. Our son is 10. Sex dried up once he was born 10 years ago. She said she doesn't feel the same about me. I was broke and didn't have leverage, so I stayed to work on it. That changes this year. Boss up 2025. So that's the brother going through a divorce. 17 years marriage. Sex died 10 years ago. Whew. The marriage will is undefeated, man. Best of luck to you, and keep your head, man. Keep your head, because this thing could make you go crazy. It is our brother here, and let me see if I can say your name. We're going to call you Kuspinski. Ospinski. I'm not sure what that is. Hey, coach, the UK government has now started the process of creating a law. It will give cohabitating couples the same protection as married couples. So if you merely live with a woman for a certain time, they are entitled to the same rights as a wife. For those who wanted to know, will the government pull back marriages? All right. Will they help marital laws? The answer is no. Right? All right. The answer is no. Let's see here. Somebody's messaging me. Oh, the JUCO. But yeah, the answer is no. They're tightening it up because let's just be honest. The marital laws are there to protect and support women. When you get with the woman or move in with the woman, girlfriend, wife, baby mama, whatever it is, you're taking the support away from the government and you're assuming the support. So I don't care what feminists say. Men support women. I don't care if it's 50% or 100%. We support women. If those women aren't supported, they need someone to support them. Like I always tell you, they need a daddy. So they're going to need daddy government, a corporation, a job, or they're going to need, the government's got to support them, or a sugar daddy or a pimp. I don't care what the woman does. She could be the most moral woman in the world. She needs a support system. So thus, what they're doing is saying, if you take her away from us having to support her, 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100%, you're assuming support for her for the rest of your life, essentially, for a period of time. Thus, if you leave her, we know there's a 50% chance she's going to go need support immediately from the government, social services. She's going to need support. So when you're engaging in these relationships, just know that that's how the government sees it. You took this woman to support her. That means we don't have to support her. We don't have to give her social benefits. We don't have to house her because this bitch is going to be homeless without any support. She's going to be living on social services without any support. So you took her off and we no longer have to support her. But if you put her back out there, you're going to support at least 20, 30% of that, if not 50 or 100%. You're still going to pay for her. You took her off the market, nigga. You bought it. You break, you buy. You break, you buy. So, yeah, that's kind of how the government looks at women. Even though they're strong and independent, they look at them as, nigga, all right, you want her, you pay for it. Shout out to Miles says, he says, Coach, I am literally in the same boat that you just described. I've been watching you talk about the reality of relationships, and it makes too much sense. However, I can't be a baby daddy, but I also don't trust these reform 304s either. disguising themselves to be a good woman, and all of them do it. He says it's crazy to think, coach, that society and relationships are so bad. About right here, so bad that you have to think critically about whether or not you want to continue your legacy as a man. Men before us never had to deal with this amount of insanity coming from women in society, which I think the big problem is for men. You're dealing with Reform 304s. Like, that's what you're dealing with. Like, most of, and not all of us are getting Reform 304s. And then they come, bat their eyelids. You know, they're very manipulative. They know what they're doing. They tell you how great they're going to be. They overpromise and they underdeliver. And then when they do that, it's our fault. Well, you didn't make me happy. You didn't make me feel welcome. I didn't feel secure. You didn't make me feel secure. Like, bitch, you was out here getting ran through. You was just out here with no security, getting dick down. Sometimes for play, sometimes for pay. Sometimes for fun, sometimes for funds. You was just out here on the cock carousel when I met you. And now I gotta pay for your goofy ass attitude because you don't no longer want to do the work. No, siree, Bob. Man, do not fall for it. Ko-Fi supporter says the marriage will is my autobiography. And spoiler alert, it is how every marriage will turn out. Every single one of marriages will turn out with the marriage will. 007, MIB coach, rewatch your presentation from the 2021 CME when I first met you. Your message was on point then and still is today. Keep spreading the message and living by example. Gents, listen up and boss up. I'm not making this shit up. I'm not a bitter and hurt old man. I'm out here folding up flatbacks. All right, ling-lings out here. I'm having fun, bro. I mean, don't think that I'm sitting in a dark room just out here shivering and can't find a woman to have fun with. I'm living my life. I'm out here living international CGA in the building, and I'm living a good life. Meanwhile, you live in fucking Cleveland telling me about myself. Now, let me tell you, let me introduce you to who I am. I'm one of the living legends in this space. So it's going to continue to be that way. I'm trying to help you out. But at the end of the day, it only helps me when you don't listen. J Flow, safe travels, coach, and enjoy those French crepe cheeks in the building. Yes, indeed. And Martin Mohammed says, why I oughta. He says right here, laughing out loud. He says, one of these days, Alice, one of these days, bang, zoom to the moon. He says, just checking in, coach. Be safe in these European streets. With that being said, I'll get back to you guys on Thursday. I got a travel day. And I'll be in Paris, France, smashing some French crepe cheeks in the building. All right. Shout out to the coach gang. Do me a favor. Hit the like button on the way out. We love y'all. Go live free. Peace.